guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Okay, so welcome back everyone. It's one day until Christmas, at least here. And this episode is pretty much not going to be about that, but it's going to be about the collapsing system, lockdowns, and everything being destroyed, all human rights being taken away, and everything more. Not really something to celebrate right now, unless you guys just want to forget about everything and just want to party.
I say we get thrown off of YouTube and Discord, and we screen share the Adam Sandler classic 8 Crazy Nights.
That sounds like a plan.
Not even a bad
Yeah, no, there are parties, during collapses, like the Romans were known for that, maybe the Babylonians too, let's just all be in denial.
Hey man, James McMurtry has a great song called Hurricane Party.
Hurricane Party? I don't hear any music.
I
was waiting for the cue.
separated from my instruments and unable to. But did you guys hear about that shit? Somebody went and burnt my truck up the other night.
Serious?
Yeah.
It used to happen when I was in Chicago. When I was in Chicago, that was usually a warning. You fucking light your car on fire. It's usually over money.
Yeah, no. I don't owe anybody money.
Car on fire. That's crazy. Yeah, you gotta check your friends list. Be like, oh man, who fucking hates me?
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like, I'm not where I live. I'd only been here for a week and a half. Like, it's that absolutely nobody that I know has this address.
Where did they? Where was the car? Where did the fire start from? From the engine or from
The
some
cab.
random place?
I'll put some pictures in. The inside the cab of the truck.
Oh yes, somebody started that. It wasn't electrical. No way.
No, it was not. The horn was still blaring when the fire department showed up. They actually had to pop the hood with the crowbar because
Yeah, because
the
it'll
cable to
yeah,
release it had melted.
yeah, that usually happens in
Yeah.
car fires. It's actually
Yeah.
quite common with the horn to go off.
Hey, I just want to say hi to the 2 people who are watching this and the 6 people who just liked this because they're watching it.
Hello.
Hi.
You guys understand what
Hey, folks.
it's
Let
like?
me-
6 likes.
Let me grab
Well, I
the.
mean, I would share the stream, but I'm not on Twitter anymore, so I kind of can't.
Everyone's
You lost your
leaving.
Twitter. You lost your Twitter? Like, yeah, even fucking what's his name with the Mastodon. I don't know.
GB just left too, like the Italian, like anonymous
Yeah,
Italian guy.
he's been talking about that for a long time though.
That other guy, the
Well,
Ford,
I guess I can share it to my Telegram though.
Ford Estate also, but he was deleted, suspended. But he's like was like one of the oldest from 2009. His account. He was got deleted, like all his work gone. There was another one also gone. It's like everyone's leaving. And,
Where are they going? TikTok?
yeah, they're just done with Twitter. Like I see announced in the chat saying like, yeah, all the chat's being taken over by fucking new fags and all the old people leaving. Yeah, I really don't really visit Twitter much anymore. I'm kind of done with social media. Like everything sucks. Like in my country, everything sucks. Like my family is in trouble right now with the whole lockdown shit. All of my friends who in my town are in trouble with the shit. Everything is happening here in the streets, and social media is not helping. No one is listening to us on social media. We're on like a little bubble. So
For real though,
yeah, it's like
it sucks.
there's one good thing
That-
I'll tell you about this. One good thing, and that is like in like 2 months of like helping to organize protests and stuff, I've met more activists really wanting to change something than I've met in the years before. It's like people are really angry about all of this and they want to do something, and that does give me some hope that there are people are waking up suddenly. And but it is really sad. They are hitting us really hard right now. I know why they're hitting our country really hard. So because there are very few countries in the world where there was a really good running economy and we had a lot of money stacked in our country. Like, we were really able to help people in poverty, whatever, and they're going to take our economy down really, really hard. So
Really?
that's all I can say about it. That's why they're hitting us super hard right now. Like we I'm thinking like we have like a half a year left here. That's the max.
Yeah, but those lockdowns, like I know what it's like. I went through that for like 4 fucking months. That was horrible.
Yeah, well now I see the businesses going open illegally, right? And they know like they're going to get fined. They're saying like, yeah, I'm going to be bankrupt anyway, so let them just fine me, whatever. Like I'm going to be open anyway. Like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they can't just shut down everything and expect everything to be all fine, and they don't offer you any solution. That's what they you know, in Canada, they were giving them like $2,000 a month. It's just still not a lot, but it's still enough to eat food. Here in America, we got like $6,000. They were getting $2,000 the whole year, a month,
Yeah,
because
we
everything was
barely
shut
got
down.
shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I got like, I'm not even joking, maybe 2 stimulus checks and each was like 600 each, and that's it. That was it. They keep talking about more and it just never happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I never got one.
I never
Really?
got one either, but I was never meant to get one since I'm a college student, because students just got completely fucked by the stimulus, so yeah.
Damn.
Wait, is that stuff federal or is it like not like a statewide help or something for?
It was. I got. I think either $200 or $400 from the state of California once.
Okay, I don't know what they're trying to do.
That's
with
like a week of groceries.
No, not with teenagers. I mean, it's where with Santa Cruz, a bag of groceries was $45 to $55, no matter what you put in it. That's for one bag. If you were gonna fill a cart, it was about $200 bills each time.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to say.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Klaus Schwab, and but can we now please bring back George Soros?
Bring back George Soros as
Bring him
what?
back.
The only evil boogeyman billionaire? Well,
Yeah.
Because we had like the Koch brothers, and the Mercers, and a bunch of the Sacklers, and a bunch of other people too. It's
Didn't
just
one
I
of
want
the
to bring back the evil billionaire George Soros because he was way less evil than this motherfucker.
see. I don't know about that though, because the color revolutions that we get to see all over. I mean, that maybe in terms of you feeling it, but plenty of the rest of the world is like, no, don't bring back George Soros. Don't do that.
True.
They're all on the same team. I mean, you're not going to break that team up, dude.
That's
I mean,
true. That's true. The,
they
the
have-
Koch,
they have figured
the
out-
remaining Koch brother and George Soros and a couple other fucking like European bloodline fucking rich fucks started an institute for global peace. They're gonna bring peace.
Great.
Hey, the
Hitler
World
will lose out.
Economic Forum canceled their meeting in Davos. I think it's
They
because they're
postponed
probably
it.
just postponed.
Yeah, it's now June. Third week of June.
They're just gonna prolong the pain of having to sit through a bunch of Davos
No, they're
panels.
they're gonna go meet in some fucking island castle Bilderberg style and fucking not tell anybody about it. And they're gonna pop up in South Africa a weekend later talking about we need a great narrative. Go forward. Yeah, that's
Are us peasants at least gonna get the first 30 minutes on Zoom before they go into secret breakout rooms?
Probably
what,
not.
this summer.
You
We'll
really don't
probably
see
get
anybody
that
covering
this
it
summer.
anymore. You don't see that old crew. We Are Change. Like Press for Truth and a couple of other groups used to get over there. Even some of the Infowars people used to get over there for those get-togethers, and it's like they don't even bother to do that anymore.
Well, if you got Tim Pool's fucking basement to hang out in, or you guys are kicking it in the living room of your RV, which is parked in Tim Pool's yard, the last thing you're going to be doing is actually exposing the people who don't want to be exposed. That's not your job anymore.
Well, there's a lot of prostitutes out there. There's a lot of shilling. There's a lot of alt media shills.
I guarantee you, if
it's
Addy
just-
Ads crowdfunded to go to Bilderberg, the internet would send that motherfucker to Bill. There's some real ones out there, dude. Kriston T. Harris will go goddamn anywhere and stick camera in anybody's face. He's been around for a decade plus. Like, there's still some people. But, oh man, you guys all know what happened post-Occupy. Anybody worth a shit either fucking went off grid, got co-opted, or locked up, or dead.
Yeah. Everything was destroyed, like literally. Took years to even for some to even come back.
Or 5, sometimes 10.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people were like, fuck it, I work for the state now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody just falls off.
So when do the strippers get here?
What?
Hopefully soon.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, I can't hand everybody Matrix bars through Discord. It's gonna be, trying to lighten the mood a little bit. I can't be the only person.
Airmail.
If it wasn't fucking raining,
God.
I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking about like either tonight or tomorrow night, like eating probably like 3 pieces of a Matrix bar, and then just have like an Uber drive me around to look at Christmas lights for a little bit. Yeah, cool.
Is anybody keeping tabs on Maxwell's case? Because I heard the trial was still on for like this week or next week.
Addy Ads is.
Yeah, so jury's deliberating. They've had a number of questions, or like sent a number of notes that they wanted clarification on. In all honesty, I would be really surprised if they gave her more than a couple of years, if anything at all. And I would be even more surprised if it was actually Ghislaine Maxwell that sees the inside of a jail cell and not one of the many body doubles that she is purported to have had, or has been like exposed to have had, or confessed to have having.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, her defense is not good when they're questioning the memories of the people that are there. That's not a good defense. Because if there's so many people saying the same goddamn thing, then none of their memories are valid. If you have,
Okay,
you know,
it wasn't until closing arguments that the prosecution suggested correctly, in my opinion, that Ghislaine Maxwell is the one who would be in charge of this operation, not Jeffrey Epstein. And the whole time they'd been arguing whether or not, you know, she was a victim or caught up by his spell or whatever. They didn't even introduce as a narrative to the jury that Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of super spy Robert Maxwell and media mogul, holder of multiple passports with the sisters in the tech industry that flies that.
Don't forget to add the Israeli in front of that super spy, Steve.
Yeah, state funeral by Mossad, by the Israeli government. But yes, that Robert Maxwell, the guy who got state bullets before he got the state funeral, with the daughter who took over the spyware firm and said she was doing this to carry on her father's legacy, essentially inheriting all of the code from Promise software, which I'm sure most of us remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's who's in your courtroom. And none of that is being... This is all within a 6-year frame from 1998 to 2004, the vast majority of which all of the evidence that had been introduced had been exposed in multiple media articles throughout the years, especially in Vanity Fair and fucking... Like, all of it's already been out there.
Yeah, it's not anything new.
So I don't know what they're expecting, but the jury's still deliberating. They're supposed to meet tomorrow, and they'll be sequestered in a hotel room over the Christmas holidays. They're supposed to meet tomorrow. Family. So if the jury wants to, they'll come to a decision. Or maybe they don't like their family. Maybe there's a couple of people there that just really hate their fucking relatives, and they're like, no, I think she's innocent.
You gotta be real sadistic to not see your family.
That would be so. That'd be
Undying sense to protect Ghislaine Maxwell.
Both my wife's sisters are coming over tomorrow. Shit. You know?
That'd be something I would pull. Like, seriously, just like, be like, that motherfucker, fuck you, I'm not staying here another week. I'd do it just to be an asshole. I think she's innocent.
You know what? That might be a decent way to, like, you know, hide the fact of all her crimes. Like, just say, I don't think she's guilty of, and then list all the crimes. And then...
That's funny.
But inappropriate conduct with a minor, we got to get her on that.
Oh yeah. So there was a lot of that going on, and grooming, and
She probably won't even get a charge for that, though.
really,
I don't know, man. I mean, I have no confidence. We've had nothing but show trials. You know, like
usually get less time, and don't get convicted as often for the same things as a male.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no. I feel like the whole year has been incredibly predictable show trials, so I don't have much confidence that this will go any differently.
Well, James Comey's daughter.
Trials, Julian Assange's legal team, what they filed the application to appeal to the UK Supreme Court, the High Court's ruling this morning. So, yay.
Which is, I mean, are we just gonna state it, or are we gonna talk about it at all?
I mean, I was thinking that someone else would go off of that,
but so I mean, essentially, it's got however many days to for magistrate panel to send it to Priti Patel, who will then decide whether or not it goes to the Supreme Court, at which point apparently we hit reset on this whole process again.
Seriously? Again? We have to go through this whole fucking thing again with this Assange?
Well, so in the complaint, or in the whatever the official name of the paperwork is, Julian's legal team is challenging multiple points because they don't agree with any of Beretzer's decisions outside of don't send him to the U.S. because prison conditions, suicidal ideation, so on and so forth. But all of the legal arguments that were made, and all of Siggy's testimony, and all of fucking Hector's fucking Sabu Ratface motherfucker's testimony, and all the Luke Harding book, and all of that shit, like, they're contesting that.
and trying to introduce the Official Secrets Act too.
Yeah, I mean, if they're throwing him in the Espionage Act, like, I don't think anybody's ever beaten that in the history of all the espionage cases.
Well, I mean, yeah, because he's in a court full of spooks.
Yeah, literally.
Where the First Amendment isn't allowed to be introduced as a defense, where public's right to know isn't allowed to be introduced as a defense. The only thing that he's there to address are charges of espionage.
Yeah, it's like a fucking Black Panther being on trial in the middle of Louisiana in 1963. I mean,
I don't understand how it's espionage if he's not. There's no real ties to us either. So.
Well, it doesn't matter to them, Tyler. Clearly,
he's not even a citizen of the country he's being accused of.
But
yeah,
he never released it to any foreign government. He released it to everybody. It wasn't just like one country for like the profit of another. It was just for information that the CIA is really getting into your routers and using Wi-Fi signals to see where you are in the room. You know, stuff like that.
So that's the point. The people, the public, we're the enemy in this. Like, it's so clear because
that cherry picker shit was some fucking freaky stuff. Like, you know,
he didn't share it to other governments. He published it for the entire world to see, for the general public to be able to see, not just some foreign government agency, whatever fuckface. No, us. We were allowed to see that shit, and we're clearly the enemy to these imperialist cunts.
Yeah, if you take the Espionage Act on its face, that's providing information that would aid or give comfort to the enemy. Well, we would de facto be the enemy in that situation. Right? I mean, I don't know, because they're not charging any other government in connection.
No, they're not. It's just one individual.
They're not even charging WikiLeaks as a business entity.
No, they're only one individual, which makes no sense. And they're accusing him of hacking as well. And he didn't hack anything. It was all leaks.
But curious eyes never run dry. Ooh.
They couldn't even prove that Nathaniel Franks was Julian Assange. Not in the court-martial, not in Manning's court-martial. They certainly never, they didn't establish it as fact in the UK case
the only one who, in this whole fucking WikiLeaks thing, that could possibly be charged with a hacking crime is dead. He killed himself like a year or two ago. Was Bradley Manning's friend.
Oh,
yeah. He OD'd on some research chemicals. And that's the only guy affiliated with the whole WikiLeaks in 2012 that could be, but he didn't. He was just coaxing Manning to do what he wanted to do. I don't remember the whole backstory how it got up to that point.
Well, they had developed kind of an online relationship.
Oh, that's right. Because I told you. Yeah. I think that both of them are lovers at some point. I think they were more than friends.
Not just partners in crime, huh?
Who immediately called the FBI.
Yeah, and then he regretted it, later. Yeah.
I mean, Adrian Lamo, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's dead now. I mean, that's the only guy that in that whole hacking thing that could be prosecuted with. He's dead. Oh.
Yeah,
but
you could argue that decrypting that collateral murder video was, but that has Assange nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
It was, decrypted by others.
Yeah, and technically, decrypting isn't hacking, isn't it? Cryptography.
Yeah, you could. Okay, you could. Perhaps you could say that, but it was not Assange doing that, because they're completely different people.
Yeah.
And people who step forward, people who are on Wikipedia for doing that, even, right? So they came forward with it.
Right.
They weren't hiding that. They said it was in the public interest to show this video. So, yeah.
Like I don't know how long an espionage case goes. I don't know, but I don't think this is going to be quick, and I think that's the point.
Yeah.
They want him just to be incarcerated until he dies.
Yeah, it has to be a slow process, and it has to happen in front of us, and it has to be intimidating enough for all of us to never do anything.
Yeah, on top of that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well,
You're lagging, Tyler.
Yeah, like really bad.
You're sounding like the Tyler AI again, Tyler.
Right, you sound like a robot.
I don't know.
You're going through one of them LA tunnels, Tyler?
Right?
It sounds interesting though.
Hey, Watcher, just say what you want to say.
I don't know why.
I was gonna say
the
that
whole Russian embassy thing never popped off.
There we go.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. What happened, Tyler?
I'm still here.
You sounded like a robot for like 5 minutes. It was amusing though, I won't lie.
What were you gonna say, Watcher?
I was gonna say, did you guys hear or actually see the thing that was happening with Assange when he had that stroke recently? I think it was like in October.
I didn't know he had a stroke.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah,
He had a stroke back in October.
Yeah, and Stella Morris did a report on it.
My conspiracy theory is he was jabbed and he had a blood clot.
It's not a conspiracy theory. He was. His dad gave an interview about it at least a couple times. But he, the way that John framed it in the interview, is that, well, of course he has no choice in the matter. But yes, he was vaccinated. And that's how he answers the interview question. It turns out that it was the weekend before he was scheduled to go to court, like whatever the hospital day was prior to that. That's when he got stuck, and then within 96 hours or something like that, he stroked out.
Really?
And that was back in October, and they didn't announce it until his court date.
Like what, 2 weeks ago?
Huh?
So I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something they actually finally announced it.
Yeah,
it was
December.
the day after his December 10th hearing on International Human Rights Day.
Well, I think it's pretty weird, by the way, that they must have known it before. But they said that they just did an MRI or something, and then it was confirmed. But it's kind of weird.
Yeah, some people recover from strokes, others don't. But I saw from that TikTok video with when I saw Julian from that cell phone video, he seemed like he recovered. He didn't seem like somebody who had a bad stroke. Some people recover.
I mean, it's still pretty alarming considering, like,
it's fucking attempted murder.
Yeah,
basically,
there's a massive amount of stress and torture being placed upon him. So.
Well, there's also if he was in the proper facility and he had symptoms of a pre-stroke, they could be mitigated by giving him counteractive medicine that would be negligence that they could probably sue on the judicial system. But a lot of strokes are preventable if you can see the symptoms early in to prevent how bad it gets.
That medical negligence is kind of the standard for prisons.
Yeah. They always have outbreaks with in prisons. They always have outbreaks with scabies and God, what else is the other one? Scabies, lice, tuberculosis. Yeah,
well, I mean, and
Hep B too.
Yeah, well, COVID has made it even worse in prisons and jails in the U.S. at least, because then, you have one person that comes in finally with some mild symptoms of whatever cold they might have, and then it automatically gets pegged as COVID, and a whole unit is quarantined. So, like, they can't go outside, pretty much, or they can't see lawyers, they can't go to in-person courts. I mean, at least that's the case for Santa Rita Jail.
The whole court. Go ahead.
I think there's only two reasons that Julian Assange is still alive, and one of the main reason is Stella, of course, who's very supportive and a very strong fighter for him. And the second reason is, I think that at least his fellow inmates all seem to respect him. They see what's going on with him, and I know that people offered to like wash his dishes and stuff. So that's something.
They did a whole bunch of that. He's basically been incarcerated for almost 12 years now. Almost.
Yeah, but Stella Morris, he's the one keeping him alive most of it, I think. She fights for him every day, and he's lucky to have a woman like that. But his fellow inmates, they're humans too. They can see what the government is doing to him.
Yeah. It's not. I don't really know other than what the state is trying to do, other than just to show them that they have the upper hand. But honestly, at this point, all the information is already out there. What else can be done? Like give him 175 years, and for what? Then all the stuff they said about human rights just goes down the garbage. They look like hypocrites. Nothing good could come out of this case,
Yeah.
I
mean,
so.
Even without the
what about
prosecution of Julian, the human rights is a complete facade, anyways.
What about that one guy? I heard that there was some people were talking about this, saying that he lied in the trial or something.
Siggy?
I think so. I'm not sure.
If
I
we're
saw it
talking
on.
about the Assange prosecution, then yeah, basically it came out that a certified sociopath and professional Siggy basically lied in his testimony. So you'd think that would get the case thrown out, but hey, that's not how
Right.
justice works in the West. So, ugh, fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's not going to protect him against the USA. If they're suspicious, they still want to try him. So they still want him there. Alright, they have to only argue that he is suspicious, that they suspect he did something. Pretty much. I mean, like with the extradition agreement with the UK, I guess. Right? He doesn't have to be convicted as guilty either yet, I think, in the UK. But yeah. I'm not completely sure about that, but I think it has to do with also they are just so close as allies that they will just hand him over. I don't think he will be protected.
Yeah, that's fucked.
in the end. Especially if we not talk about espionage or cyber terrorism or whatever he's being accused of, a network of WikiLeaks being accused of. So.
Yeah, the whole like him hacking and cyber terrorism part, that's just straight bullshit. They're just trying to.
Yeah,
It's not a charge.
It's made up. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, he's not, what he's being charged with under the CFAA is, like, akin to hacking, but it's
The
technically,
conspiracy
like,
part.
providing assistance that, on, like, cracking the second part of, password, but not actually hacking. Like, it's super fucking narrowly defined. But what it comes down to is general source protection in journalism.
Yeah, we know that. We know that, right? But I mean,
Yeah, but no, I mean, like to say that he's being charged for hacking, he's really not. Like, that's not even alleged in the CFAA charge. Allegedly trying to teach Manning how to safeguard identity is the charge, but it was proven in Manning's court-martial that the computers that all of that information on didn't require a username or password.
So it's public, almost like public access.
Yeah, as long as you were of a certain rank, you had access
A certain
to
like
that
clearance
particular...
level.
Huh?
It's like a certain clearance level. Since
Yeah.
he wasn't an intelligence officer in the army.
Well, it was captain or above. Or whatever, corporal. Corporal, or something like that. But, I mean, low fucking... There's something like 100,000 people in the army at that time, just at that rank, that had access to collateral murder and all the war logs and everything else.
Well, and also that scope under that whole like clearance shit that was narrowed a couple months ago when the CFA was challenged again at the Supreme Court. Granted, it took a fucking pig to get them to narrow the CFAA on that, but like realistically, the scope of the CFAA doesn't cover what it's supposed to be covering in the Assange indictment right now.
The whole CFAA laws need to be rewritten.
CFAA
Ancient.
Yes, free Commander X.
No, we've tried, with several groups over the years. It was the what was it? What's the guy who killed himself? The creator of Reddit, the Schwartz.
Aaron
Schwartz. Yeah, we tried 2017 or 2016. Offshoot of Anons, tried to make Aaron's Law, and it never really. It was Congress never did anything about it, and I don't think they ever got the law. They never got the law reformed, which means the old CFAA laws are still there, and really they need to be rewritten because any violation of the terms of service or unauthorized access is considered hacking. It's like it's not very well or broadly defined. Because computers have changed a lot in the last 40 years,
Right.
Well, they wrote the CFAA because they watched War Games.
War Games, yep. With Matthew Broderick, yeah. They're afraid. Well, they were afraid that somebody would use their fucking phone to launch a nuke. They were who they were afraid of? Captain Crunch. Oh no, Captain Crunch. They were afraid of Terrence McKenna. Not Terrence McKenna. Who's the fucking garbage man of hackers?
Kevin Mitnick, you mean? That's what.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I like back in the '90s. I was constantly on the 2600. Anything 2600. So I was like really into like Terrence, like McKenna or whatever his name was, and Kevin Mitnick, and he fucking when he was locked up, they took his phone rights away because they were afraid that he would be able to whistle into it and access the internet and hack the stock market or something. That's how.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of phone freaking at that time.
He's not a real hacker. He's just good at social engineering. I mean, does he have a skill set? Yes. Is it very advanced? No. Is he good? Is he a good con man? Yes, he's a good con man. Yeah, but phone freaking was actually pretty big. I remember back in the '90s doing it a lot just to get free phone calls.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the two Apple guys also got the rich out of it.
Yeah.
Wozniak and stuff, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs, because they were selling these devices for phone freaking, right, to make free calls and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a simple tone, an oscillating 2600 tone, and give you free phone calls.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that still worked today.
If you find a payphone, you might. If you find an old payphone that still has it hooked up to the old system, you might. I mean, there's some. They do exist in some countries, but you're lucky if you're finding an old mechanical switchboard anywhere. So.
Right, they're just so obsolete now.
It used to be just analog sounds, and you confirm just with a sound that it was paid, right? That you paid money, and then you could emulate that sound, and they thought you paid. So it wasn't really a way of proving that you didn't pay. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, if I didn't have that blue box, or it was a blue box at the time, yeah, I would never be able to call my mom to pick me up from school.
Yeah, way too expensive too.
Yeah, it was like $1 just to make a phone call back then.
Yeah.
So. But anyway,
he's right though. I mean, like, it was a different time, and like really like the birth of the hacking community, I guess. So.
Yeah, hacking was different back then. It was more about just getting free things. It wasn't really about like before the whole Yahoo DDoS. Like hacking was really like if the people I knew, it was more about just getting free things,
Yeah, we used to do it with the Coca-Cola machines and stuff, right? Getting drinks.
Yeah. Free video games, VBS systems. Download the 200 kilobyte game that nobody has on. Just stuff like that. But it really wasn't anything like real like. Like I remember the Yahoo DDoS. That was hilarious. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The first DDoS, that was hilarious.
Yeah, but I was personally really proud. Like it was like this town like close to my own. I had this drinks machine, right? And I could just press a code, and I got like not even a free drink. I got like a double drink, right? I pressed like a button, and I got 2 Fantas instead of 1, right? Out of it. It was just a combination of the buttons. So, and I think that's for a tag or something. Someone is like working on a machine and can get like a free drink or something. But yeah, I was very happy with it. It was like 15. So yeah, it's really big for me. But yeah, no, you're right. The first DDoS. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the kid. The kid was like 12 years old. Remember, and he took down Yahoo. It was really big.
Yeah. I remember when our Dutch government went down in like, what was it, 2005? There's just a few kids too who did it. All the government sites went down. And it was a big scene was made over it.
Oh yeah?
Can't confirm or deny. crashed there for a second.
Okay.
Oh, it is-
Anyway, mention the magic word DDoS and Discord crashes.
Yeah, Discord did that to me too.
Okay, it seems to work again. Yeah. So, at least it kept the stream running, I guess. I just didn't hear anything anymore.
Alright. Did you guys hear about the recent thing that just happened in Los Angeles earlier today?
I'm in Los Angeles. What happened?
What, did pigs murder someone?
so
and
apparent-
that's the story?
No, so apparently, some type of a shooting took place with the Los Angeles Police Department,
Yeah.
and
Burlington
it
Coat
killed a
Factory,
14-year-old girl.
Yeah, no, it was some
Yeah.
suspect in the coat factory. Fucking was shooting something, and then a cop didn't see the fucking girl in the fucking
Dressing room.
dressing room and shot in and killed her. She was only 14. She didn't even know what was going on.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that took place at the North Hollywood.
I'm gonna go take some bong hits. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Can I come, Steve?
Of course.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I have nothing that I should say on the internet that should be said after that news, so.
But
It's just YouTube. You'll be okay.
But
No,
honestly,
I really shouldn't.
Can you hear me?
What is that at ExxonMobil, Alamo? You just
Yeah. ExxonMobil refinery blew up.
Really?
Some kind of industrial fire in A-Town. Yeah.
Mm,
There was only like 3 or 4 refineries, and they're all just like massive. So if any of them go up, it's. I'd expect gas prices to go up a little bit, depending on how bad it was.
Well, I mean, plus the
Yeah.
damage done from contamination.
Yeah, we had a blow up right here at the Torrance one where some fucking idiot was like smacking he couldn't get a bolt off of one of these connector pipes, and was smacking it and it exploded. I remember that. Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, some fucking idiot.
I mean, that one in Lebanon was pretty fucking nuts too. That was almost like that was huge.
Oh yeah, that was a preventable accident, actually, because
Yeah.
that
Right, because they had a bunch of nitroglycerin stored in a
fireworks
like,
stuff.
yeah, fireworks place that they seized from some ship, and it's just like nitroglycerin is used to make bombs. It's like, don't you think they would have put it in a place a little bit more safe than a fucking firework factory?
No, what it boils down to is stupidity and money. Money makes people
Basically.
make stupid decisions. If everybody was considered about the safety, they would have been gone. There's proper
That
ways.
shit went off big time. I mean, like almost close to. I wouldn't say a nuke, but like from the videos that I saw, that was like catastrophic for sure.
Well, that's actually
That
the
was a big
same kind of
fucking
damage.
explosion.
That's the same kind of damage you would expect from a tactical nuke, about a square to about 5 square city blocks. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I mean it's straight leveled houses and buildings and everything. It was a nutty video to watch.
Yeah, if you measure that crater, you can tell pretty much what the detonation load was there. It's like on the low end of a nuke.
Yeah. It had a even a pressure wave too.
Like when you watch that, like the video from it when it took place, you could just see like the legitimate shockwave just nailing through the buildings. It was crazy. It was definitely one of probably the most not traumatizing, but fucked up things I've probably seen on the internet yet. It was pretty bad.
Have you ever seen the rocket factory that blew up?
No.
That's what it
But
reminded
fucked up
me
things
of.
I've probably seen.
There's I think it was in Utah or New Mexico, and
Yeah,
Nevada, yeah, where the rocket factory blew up. Yeah.
You got that other one in China. What is it, Yingzhan? That went up.
Oh, yeah,
the whole port blew up.
Yeah, the fireworks fucking blew up.
Damn, what's up with these people and fireworks?
It's China, man. That's where they make them.
True. True.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say? You know, about this like COVID stuff, you know? Like, I don't think this shit's gonna end anytime soon. Don't.
I mean, we wish it would, but yeah, I'm with you on that.
But like, honestly, like, if our leaders can't get their shit together, if our fucking scientists can't fucking think of anything, we're fucked. I mean, I don't want this to go on for like 200 or 300 years, like bubonic plague.
Oh, you mean a new dark age? Why not,
long
man?
enough.
Well, I mean, you know, and not only that, like, you know, I was talking before on the show, you know, I know people are concerned about all of these mandates, but people's mental health is out the window lately. Like, you know, I know people that are fucking just losing their shit. You know, I see it all. I see it almost every day. You know.
Well, just help them focus it to the enemy. That's my suggestion.
No, I think it's a combination of you know, the elephant in the room that we know we're fucked. You know. I mean, you don't like to wake up every morning and think, oh God, is this are we going to live another generation or what? You know. That's what's going on.
I mean, I hope so, but the way it's going right now, it don't look like it.
Exactly. And now fucking now we have this fucking real war that might pop off in China that we've been saying that was going to happen for years. Now it looks like it's actually going to happen in the middle of a pandemic. And then Putin's fucking right now starting shit with Ukraine in the middle of a fucking pandemic over a fucking power grab. Like, what the fuck?
Well, you see, I mean, we just had to go in there and stir up the shit, Tyler. I mean, you know.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I mean, he has to be concerned because you got an American takeover of the Ukraine that's still on your border. I mean, I'd be kind of leery myself, you know, if I was them.
It's like, you know, we're looking at the future of mankind, and here are the world leaders worried about a power grab and war while people are fucking dying in the streets. Like,
well, yeah, they're world leaders.
Yes, but this
Why else would the great United States of America worry about fixing homelessness when we can try to foment the war in the Horn of Africa and grab their resources there?
We need the leaders have their priorities wrong. You know, they really do.
No, I think they have our best interest at heart.
Oh God, Glory.
If they,
See, you only have to kill the guy once. You know, otherwise you got to feed him every day. You know, that takes forever.
You know, our leaders have no long-term plans for this fucking COVID. You know, vaccinations indefinitely is not a solution. For these pills they want us to take. It hasn't
worked so far.
Yeah, these pills they want us to.
Hasn't worked at all with the vaccinations.
I know, and I'm pro-vax too, right? And I've been boosting all that shit. But at the same point, I don't even think the leaders have a long-term solution. That's the scary part, and the scientists have no answers.
Well,
I mean, they try to act like they do, but they don't.
Hang on, time out. What are you seeing right now in terms of the progression of the coronavirus from Alpha to Omicron? Tyler, are you seeing more pathogenic strains, or are you seeing less virulent, less pathogenic that are kind of, I don't know.
I'm not getting into the specific details. I'm just saying this is a problem that is not going to go away, just like the bubonic plague.
Who fucking cares, dude? We want it to get endemic. We want it to, because then it's just one more bullshit thing that, like, once or twice a year, some people get fucking knocked out with occasionally. Like, that's nothing to reorganize society over, and it's certainly nothing to get people on a fucking program of experimental drugs that are fucking having more fucking adverse reactions than any other thing they put in anybody ever. With legislated immunity.
Oh, hold your horses. I think you missed the first part of that conversation. I said they had no solutions.
No, that is the solution. The fourth industrial revolution is the solution.
It's the solution to fuck you over, and it's working great for them.
Yeah.
That's what you're missing. It's not
This
designed
isn't
to
about
help you
health. It
at
was
all.
never about health.
All right. All I know is that the people that are calling all the shots and have the answers don't have any of them.
Yeah, they do.
They're making bank, dude. They're making more money than ever. You don't get it.
Oh, then mankind is doomed to fail and die.
No, dude,
they're making more money than ever.
Virus, and now mankind's enslaved on the fucking blockchain. It's not about health. It's not. Assuming the lab leak theory is correct, which a lot of paper trail evidence and hard data supports, that this is in fact a creative.
It was a lab leak. It was a lab leak.
So, if UN Agenda 21 says these are our target goals for society, and in 2019 during event 201 everybody's looking at the same calendar, and then the military games in Wuhan occur, and then the virus is everywhere, and people do absolutely nothing that they would ordinarily do in the medical profession when something like this happens at all. In fact, it's counterintuitive to the point where they're telling people, don't come to the hospital unless you're blue. No, we're not going to tell you anyway that you could treat this. No, we're not going to talk about all of the things that we have available basically over the counter for you. Fuck no. Why would we do that? Nobody scratched their fucking heads besides like all of us that got kicked off of fucking YouTube and demonetized and shit. Like, and I understand there were some counter narratives that were retarded, man. I understand that there was like, oh, it's 5G, it's bad shit. That's supposed to happen. That's a counter narrative. What you need to do is look at, evidence, data, history, and fucking listen to all voices, especially the ones that are going, hey, wait a second, because nobody wants to listen to that person in the middle of what they're perceiving to be a crisis. Nobody wants to hear the guy that's like, ooh, wait, are you sure? Because that seems fucked up. But it's fucked up. All of it is. It's all counterintuitive. And to assume that many mistakes are in fact mistakes, Tyler, when the mistakes all go one direction, they're not mistakes. At some point, you have to concede that.
True.
Conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess they want us to die.
No, I mean, yes and no. Okay, look, who is this taking out? And I'm not going to say that. I'm not claiming that this was. Do you remember the meme going for a little bit that it was the boomer remover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, average age of death for coronavirus in the United States is 80. Average life expectancy in the United States is 78. We, over the last couple of generations, because of the boomers and advancements in technology and medical procedures, have been able to massively extend the life of people who are producing absolutely nothing. And that's to the people who have referred to us as useless eaters, those are probably the most useless eaters. Again, it has been theorized. I am not suggesting. It has been theorized, and golly, a lot of evidence points towards, if not deliberate instigation, then that age-old adage, never let a good crisis go to waste. And the simple fact of the matter that all of the people who have made all of the money and have got all of the legal protection to the point of immunity, guaranteed legislated immunity, all of those people just so happen to have been meeting in relative secret and in public for the last 20 years specifically to simulate these exact scenarios. But it could also be that a pangolin fucked a turkey and now the world's gonna die if we don't submit all of our free will and all of our autonomy to a handful of sociopathic billionaires. Could be.
Yeah, how many books do they have to write telling you what they're going to do 20 to 30 years beforehand? And then when they actually do it, everybody acts surprised.
You just have to read Tragedy and Hope.
I mean, you can't be that dumb. Honestly, if I was one of these rich elites, I'd be frustrated. Because it's like, God damn, what do we have to do? We write these fucking books, we go on TV, we abuse the population of the whole planet at large, almost daily, and they don't get it. That we really do want them dead, and we don't give a fuck about you. And people are like, oh no, they can't be that bad. When that's what they've been doing and telling you their whole life. It's incredible. So move to Nebraska. The immediate solution, Tyler, for you, because you're in the California progressive liberal shithole, is to move to Nebraska or Texas or Florida, or center of the country, because that's the last redoubt. That's it, dude. They're shutting down the West Coast. The people are all traumatized and too stupid to figure it out for whatever reason, and so they're fucked. So fuck them.
All I see in the streets, dude, is just people are. It's like unspoken, but people are not acting normal, like they're acting nuts. I think it's the point. Get them all fucked up in the head. As far as there's nothing in Nebraska. I've been through the whole state, nothing but except for Omaha, but it's all farmland.
Not even a couple of guys up in Northern California. They've finally given up on California. And they're going into Nebraska for a job, and I was like, "You got to be shitting me!" And I said, "What was the final straw?"
I think I don't know,
bro. I think I gave up on California a long time ago. That's why I moved to Montana.
I got too much money tied up in this state. I can't fucking leave.
I don't know how to do it, man. I mean, if I was there, I'd be looking at it too. It's like, goddamn, what do I do? It's just like this is crazy. But the fact is, they're shutting you down, man. They're shutting you down hard.
The fucking all the COVID shit, all of the fucking mandate that never ended in our city. It kept on going. Everybody got their little fucking vacation. I didn't get no fucking thing. Now I have to fucking show a QR code just to use a pisser in a fucking a restaurant.
So how do you explain that? How do you explain the California experience now versus what's going on in other states where they don't worry about it? Or South Dakota, for instance, that never worried about it, never had a mandate, never did shit, and nothing happened.
I don't know.
We know that you can take betadine, dilute it with water, and hork it through your nose and spit it out twice a day.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that. Is that some sort of antiseptic or? Never heard of it.
Yeah, you know what betadine is.
It sounds familiar. It sounds like something that we would use as an antiseptic, though. I just don't.
There's antibiotics to put on your wounds and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds
essentially
right.
when you dilute it and rinse with it, do a nasal rinse with it, It kills the bacteria, all the fucking viral fucking cells that would eventually hit you, hang out in your lungs, your respiratory system, and give you COVID.
Is the compound necrotic to tissue, or no? Some antiseptics do that if you put it in direct tissue. I don't know. That'd be my only concern, but I don't know.
There's a bunch of fuck ton of information. There's a whole protocol on it that Dr. Peter McCullough developed. And there's a number of other things, but basically, I mean, like washing your hands and fucking like, essentially like sanitizing your nasal passages would have done tremendously more than the mask shit and the fucking wear gloves and don't touch thing. It's an airborne respiratory virus. The masks only go down to 3 microns. COVID's a fucking micron. You lose 18% just by putting the mask on. If you have facial hair, you may as well not put the mask on. And everybody knows this.
But in here, they're already saying the masks don't help, but they're saying it is useful to remind people that there is a danger of COVID. Yeah, not even kidding. That's what the government even says here.
I use a carbon filters though.
This is what hypnotists do. They give you something. There has to be like a placeholder, something you can like focus on and you can talk about, and it's the mask. So it's just like, just put on the mask and everything will be all right, and we won't ride your ass for no good reason because we're telling you to do this, but
it's a sigil.
Yeah, it's just, it's a diversion and a placeholder for your mind, and then insert a couple of stupid ideas and look at the population. They run with it. It's a basic trick of some of the hypnotists.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's being used for now. But early on during the COVID thing was also like a professor in my country, and he said like it's like a spirit temple in Thailand and stuff, right? Like in Thailand on hospitals, they often have like a spirit temple on the roof, and that they believe that the bad spirits go. They make this super pretty temple right on the roof, and they believe that the bad spirits go into that temple instead of in the hospital, so they have like more success at treating people. It's like a religious kind of thing. And these masks like function as our spirit temple or something. It's a purely psychological. That's what it was early on during the crisis already decided here. But now they're openly admitting that this is not helping the masks. It is just to remind people that they have to be careful and that COVID is still there and they have to wash their hands and whatever and keep distance and stuff. It's like they're not even saying it anymore that it helps.
Well, here in the U.S., you got a New York governor saying that it's God's will that people get this vaccination. They're slowly but surely tying it all and the hypnotism and all the rest of it.
And on the other side of that, you have West Africans from countries such as Niger, which are basically saying that they believe prayer is more effective defense against coronavirus than the quote-unquote vaccine. So
we juxtaposed this on the show this morning. We had a clip from woke preachers. And then we had a clip of a South African church having real church. And again, I mean, this is South Africa, where they're saying the Omicron originated from. We're South Africa now because of how mild it is and how not fucked up and not dead people are getting, have canceled their mandates, their fucking social distancing, their fucking contact tracing programs. They've said, okay, we've hit the endemic stage. There's a whole bunch of treatments that we have. Rad. Let's get back to life. Which is what we should all be doing with something that is clearly not killing people and clearly not nearly as virulent and has mutated down to the point to where it's fucking has the severe symptoms of stuff.
My dad almost died from COVID. If it wasn't for the experimental medicine,
I'm talking about the Omicron.
Oh no, my dad got the Delta. Yeah, that thing almost killed him. Yeah, Omicron. I don't know. I think it's just weak sauce or something.
Yeah, okay, some people do die from it.
I think that you're going to find that the majority of the people, as the data is bearing out, especially around the world where we don't hear it from NBC, majority of the people getting sick with the Omicron are all fully vaxxed, boosted up, fucking just, I've had every single shot, and they're the ones that are going to be getting this. And I think you're going to start to see a lot more of the antibody-dependent enhancement that the CDC and WHO were discussing and concerned about as far back as October or September of last year.
Yeah, so certain people are going to die from it, but there are also plenty of people dying from a really heavy flu, right? It doesn't make it as bad as Ebola at all. So that's what they did at first. They put it on the A list of viruses here, which is the most horrible viruses ever, and super dangerous to public health and everything. It's fine.
Alec Baldwin has killed more people than Omicron. Straight up.
Okay, but at the end of the day, the problem is the virus is smaller than any of your filter material. You can't get away from it. So why are you worried about what you can do about it? That's the kicker. There's nothing you can do. So putting on a fucking mask don't work. Trying to run away is not going to work. So why are you worried about it? You're going to catch it at some point anyway. And instead, you have to listen to 2 years of this crap.
Yeah. I'm at the point you are. It's just I'm just fucking sick of it all. You know.
Yeah, and then they're starting with the booster shots, and now they want 3 new jabs for the whole Omicron thing. We would be at we're now just starting with the third booster, with the first booster thing, right? And there's 3 shots they take. And then in January they have a fourth shot with the second booster, and then they want 3 new shots. So people will have 7 shots, and no one even knows what these shots do to people yet.
Like I said, Mike, this shot bullshit can't go on indefinitely. That means they gave us bad medicine.
Yeah.
Well, I should pull that tweet then and share it with you. I don't know if you can see the chat, Tyler. I did just throw something from the WHO in there from last year, where they give their guidance on masks, which obviously they got a stern talking to afterwards. But their original guidance was in line with every other issuance on masks until April of 2020. But
why can't the experts just say they don't know what the fuck is going on?
There's because markets hate uncertainty, Tyler.
I'd rather
lose so much money.
I'd rather them just tell me the truth. They'd say you're fucked. Okay, then I have now I know where to start.
But you're not fucked. You're not fucked. That's the thing. You're not fucked. You are.
If everybody believes it's real, then it is real.
Huh?
I mean, if everybody believes it's real, then it is real.
But speaking of Israel, they just extended their contract with Pfizer for a country of 9 million people. They just ordered 36 million doses. And the agreement with Pfizer has been extended for 30 years.
Oh, beautiful. Pfizer will be around for another 100 years. Nobody wants that.
So, I mean, but
get out of Israel.
You can't say that they can't just give people shots all the time, because that's exactly what they're doing. The technology is going to get it so that we will be administering our shots. We're going to get a little patch or something like that. It's self-administering vaccines. It's in a Johns Hopkins global health report that I can send you.
Yeah, I don't. That
year.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Covered it extensively on the show that me and Glory do. That's not this one where we talk about this shit and have been the whole time. For anybody to listen to, so they can help form a more clear opinion. Oh, what's going on? Just throwing it out there.
Show?
It seems like fuck all is a far better solution than common sense. That's the problem. Just the hell with reality. Just fuck all. And somehow that's smart for the general population.
Now the big hit will come like early next year when the hyperinflation starts, like publicly. So yeah, then it's
Guaranteed.
Yeah, it will.
Guaranteed, because that hyperinflation is coming, boy. Fuck, man. The Biden administration came out and was bragging on shit. We made wages go up. Real wages went up. But no, real wages went down 0.5 point this year because inflation went up 0.9%. Wages went up 0.4%. The terms of what your dollar does for you, it's actually been reduced, and it's going to keep getting reduced. You should really practice counter economics, boys and girls. That's right, counter economics. Get away from the central banks.
Yeah.
That was my dog in the background there. I don't know if you could hear that or not. He's fucking snoring.
So what does your dog think about all this, Steve? I mean, does he have any idea what's going on, or
Dude, he
being
is so
oblivious to
upset.
COVID actually worked to his favor?
He's so upset that he dyed his fur blue. He now has some Elvis Costello glasses, original Kamala Harris for president t-shirt, and is outside public schools trying to pass out free vaccines. That's how concerned the dog is right now. If he wasn't so cute, I'd abandon him, just on principle.
Steve.
See, the funny thing is that I can say that because I know it's not true.
I know.
That's it. Yeah, it totally negates the.
But what if the dog ever figures out you're talking behind his back?
I mean,
saying things like that.
He is a vicious pit bull. I'm probably done for.
He's adorable.
I know. Yeah, dude. Really shitty guard dog. Oh, man. He's an 8-month-old puppy. I hope he's not thinking too much other than, like, food and sleep.
All right, here's a radical thought for y'all. I say we attack, and this is the depth of winter, snow and everything. We attack right now. They'll never expect it.
Right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
As long as we avoid a land war in Asia, I think we'll be okay.
No, I'm talking about attack the elite.
Yeah.
All these shitbag politicians, all these bankers that are financing it. The enemy.
I mean, I'm kind of, yelling for it openly for a couple of years now.
Well, have we established with the yellow vest in France that even if you do get the masses for years on end, that it doesn't matter? Is there a lesson to be learned there?
You'd think that people might even look a little bit past that and take some lessons from Australia. as what not to do. But I don't think France is an armed population either. So, if all of those yellow vests were out in the streets armed, you'd probably have seen a very different France back in 2019.
Well, I mean, I don't. When you got the masses like that, I don't think you even need the arms. You got so many people. I mean, okay, so you lose a few of them. So what?
You know what it comes down to? That these people are actually way too nice for that. Because when you say, well, France isn't armed, well, actually they are armed. Because
I know they got, they got shit they're swinging, but I don't think they have.
No, I mean,
if they're armed, they're not using their arms effectively.
Yeah, well, we don't have guns in our country, right? But the illegal marketeers have 500,000 guns. So, in France, where they don't have guns, I can estimate that illegal market has like 5 to 6 million guns on it. So if these were really like bad people, they would be armed already. Like they don't need the permission for the government for it. There are weapons in the country, but really the government got lucky, I guess, that these people were actually nice people, just fighting for the human rights.
You hear about that guy? They caught him in your country. You remember that guy making the ghost gun plans? Yeah, he got killed in your country.
Oh, the 3D printing thing, or?
Yeah. The guy who made the submachine gun, ghost printing gun, the original, the FJC-9, the freedom fighter, said he was going to die for his rights to produce ghost guns. Yeah, he got he got killed during they said he had a heart attack when he was fleeing from the police, but he died in your country. Yeah, that's where he was hiding out, making his own bullets and everything.
I didn't know that.
It happened recently, a few weeks ago. Yeah. But yeah, there is a quite elaborate underground gun trading going on in Europe.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah. I don't think that he died of a heart attack. I think somebody offed him, just like Serena Shim. It's too high profile.
Yeah,
too high profile.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, like the black market, there is plenty of guns in our country. That isn't really like the government does need permission to get to the like the kind of thing like you have like illegal drugs in the USA, right? Drugs are illegal, but there's plenty of drugs in the country, right? I mean, it's not like the government is stopping any of that. Here, like in Europe, like especially with the open borders thing for a long time, that it is plenty of countries where guns are legal. So yeah. Open borders.
Former Bosnia, you can still buy fucking old USSR fucking abandoned military stuff. Like AK-47s, old fucking Cold War fucking bullets. You really don't have to look far to find a weapon, really.
Even in Poland for $250 you can get like an old Kalashnikov, right? AK-47.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really a big issue, but the government in that sense got lucky because like, the yellow vests, like there were like millions of them, right? And you only have to like meet a few like really angry ones who like are like prepared to go a lot further than the others. So I guess it just shows how these are actually good people and they just wanted their human rights. I mean, it's sad.
Oh, like we've said before, people aren't going to pop off until people are starving in the streets. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but that's what might happen. It has to get that bad. And now what's going on with your country, people can't stay in lockdown indefinitely. People need to pay the bills. You turn the lights on. That's what's going to happen shutting down the economy is not a good solution in any ideal situation, not even in a war. You can't even shut down your economy during a war. So,
but there is this thing that the second people do rise up, it can be over really quickly. Because the people are with a lot more than the governments. Like the governments are tiny compared to like the amount of people there are. And like Alamo said too, but with masses, like if people truly rise up, the masses are so large, you don't even need a gun. These people will just...
Yeah, that's what happened in Iceland. Iceland twice. They did it in 08 and 2012. Took over their fucking government and arrested all the politicians.
If you march with 10 million people towards like Washington or whatever in the United States, the army isn't going to shoot at you anymore. That's too many people. It's like,
well, they're not supposed to.
If it's 500,000, they will probably still shoot you. If maybe it's 1 million too, they will probably still shoot at the crowd. But if it's like 10 million, right, or more,
they don't have the manpower. Yeah.
It's like there will literally be an earthquake coming from that, right?
Yeah.
Not even kidding. It will be like you can measure it like on this on the earthquake scale. So yeah.
Well, I think the elite have, at least in their mind, they've got enough money to take over the planet. They don't really respect any government or any entity. We only have to listen to their dictates. But they really seem to think that they've gotten to the point where they can get away with this and actually make you a slave. They can push you to the point, to this point, to where you're destitute and make a slave out of you, and they think they can get away with it.
Well,
that's the bigger push that's going on here.
Well, they're already scared. In my country, they're already scared. Like we have our healthcare minister, right? And he lives in Rotterdam. And in Rotterdam, there was this protest, and the protest got really wild. And the police shot at protesters. They killed a guy, and they shot another journalist in the stomach, right? And so now this journalist, his colleague, went back. He went to the house of the healthcare minister, right? And they just used a doorbell, tried to get him to talk, right? Well, he was arrested like 30 minutes later, but Christmas cards were sent to this healthcare minister, and like all the cops in Rotterdam were going crazy, saying like a dangerous package was found at his home and stuff. It contained just Christmas cards. That's how scared he was, and his daughter is afraid to walk over in the streets with him. Like the politicians are really scared now. And it wasn't like that before. The politicians in my country, they didn't have any security. They were just drinking beers and stuff in public. And now they're afraid to walk over through the streets in our country. They're no longer safe. Our healthcare minister is Hugo de Jonge. He gets 10,000 of death threats a day. Not even kidding. 10,000 of death threats. And he is so scared. He's scared of receiving Christmas cards at Christmas. So yeah.
Well, that's good. But that really is good. The governments are supposed to fear their people. That's a better relationship, or else you see where it goes. But it doesn't seem to translate anything. It's like, okay, they're afraid, but they're still too afraid to undo or change what they've done. Why is that? They still don't get it.
They shot a journalist in the stomach, like from Injustice TV, a Dutch podcast, and so the other journalist Max, also from Injustice TV, went there with an Anon mask, right? And he went to his door, and he live streamed it all. And he says, "I'm going to take action, and I'm going to do it for Jesus Christ, Anonymous, and the Yellow Vests," he said. And then he went there.
Oh, wow.
And he live streamed it, and he got so many viewers. Yeah, you saw him like driving away with his bike, right, with his Anon mask and his like at his steering wheel. And police was chasing him and stuff. Like the police actually arrived with like the door already open for that police guy to jump out of it. And they in the media they didn't say Anon mask either. They say masked guy showed up at his house. It's kind of yeah. I just talked to Rico because the funny thing is Max was in that little song of Rico. Rico made that song with his ukuleles. They were just playing on their ukulele, right? And Max was one of the ukulele players. He's in that video clip. Yeah. Our country is so small, like all these activists know each other. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, what I was saying, they are actually scared, and they should be, rightfully. Because when you do
So
this,
why are they still going along? Why are they still going along with it?
yeah, I'm not sure if people are actually going along with it. There's a lot of stores who are illegally open and stuff, right? So now there's like, okay, so this first lockdown, everyone was like obediently closing, right? And nothing was going on. Now there's like more and more stores. I would say like 1 in like 6 or 1 in 7 stores is just open illegally.
Yeah, it was the same when I was in Turkey during the lockdowns. If you gave them like five US, they would open up a room in the back of the restaurant for you, so you didn't have to do takeout. Yeah,
That's a parallel structure.
yeah.
And if you stop using central bank currency, you can create a parallel society.
Well, I like the bribing system. It always works well, especially with legal paperwork. I love that shit overseas. You can pay to make your problems go away.
That's like Mexican justice. I actually prefer it over U.S. justice.
Me too. I'd rather just pay it right there, make the problem disappear, than go through a fucking court battle or talk to some official who would take 2 months to put a stamp on something. If I pay you $500, you can do it right now, right? I like that system.
See, at least you have a chance to continue business, you know, continuing with your life. You know, okay, you have this corruption going on, but that's kind of it's
not real
low
corruption.
level. It's a lot
Yeah.
cheaper. I mean, you know, if you want to look at corruption, I mean, you look at the U.S. Everything's expensive. You never get a fucking decent judgment in your favor. The lawyers become rich and don't do shit. You know, disgusting.
I'd rather just have the bribing system involved in that, because you could paying to make your problems go. I mean, you are essentially being penalized right there on the spot, but you're also solving it on the spot. I like that shit.
Yeah, it's better. I just, you know, still not great. But I mean, you still have to have money. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If you're a poor peasant, you know, could be an issue there.
Yeah, so what I mean is like, okay, so now they're doing this lockdown stuff, right? And they're saying like, yeah, you're not allowed to open, but they're no longer able to enforce it at some point. People are not listening to it anymore. So the rule is there, but you're not enforcing it. Like, for example, weed is illegal in my country, right? But how come the entire world believes that you can legally smoke weed in Amsterdam? It's because people don't listen to it, and they just start smoking weed in front of these cops until they are with so many people they can't enforce it, right? So they just no longer fine you for it, right? They just forget about it. Say like, forget about these people, just let them smoke weed. We'll just look the other way. But in law, technically, it's still illegal. That's the thing. So they're not able to enforce it. And people need to realize that if they all stand up against it, these people who make these laws can't enforce it. They don't have the people to do it. In Italy, it was the same. Like restaurants and everything were forced to close, right? And then at some point they just said like, well, actually we're just going to open all at this date, all at the same time, and you're not going to stop us, right? So they just all opened all their bars and restaurants all at the same day. Everyone in Italy, and the police just said like, okay, whatever, forget about it. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, we have about 20,000 police officers for our entire country, which is less than a big U.S. city. So I think Los Angeles has more police officers than we have. So.
Yeah, I think there's more than that in New York City or probably L.A. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they can.
Okay, so Governor, the bottom line is here. Your government, like most governments, has the choice whether they're going to give up on this COVID horse shit and all the rest of the propaganda, or are they going to get serious, and are they serious about throwing us all in some camp somewhere, you know, for whatever reason they're going to have, you know, which way are you going to go? Because that's about where you're at.
Yeah, so that's a 50-50 thing. They will have to use a European police force, I guess. They can't do it in our country by themselves. It's impossible. It's like if you have a riot in one town, they can handle it. But if you have a riot in 2 or 3 towns, they don't have enough manpower already anymore. So, yeah, that is our country. People just have to stop listening to it, though. They don't realize that power, people.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the other thing that might go on there is just like, you'd still have trouble with supply lines and, transportation and whatnot. I mean, the people that, like, corporations and all that orchestrate all that behind the scenes, could still be working with them in contingency. You can always, like, shut off the food and water is what I'm saying, If you guys get too ornery over there, don't go along. Yeah, it's just, it's just how serious are these governments about treating you badly? They still want to do it. It's obvious, they're still messing with you,
Yeah, they mess with me all the time. I fucking paid them almost, tens of thousands of dollars for visa paperwork, and they're still reviewing it 2 years later.
Yeah.
Fuck the government.
It looks like our government is preferring like a slow kill, like slowly sucking the blood out of the economy of the small businesses. So they no longer can defend themselves. But I do know that there is, for them, is a big risk is that these small business owners are just going to get fucking angry. There's a lot of them. Talking about hundreds of, I can say millions of businesses.
Yeah, this is people that got money, Well, they used to. We're taking care of that. Yeah, I mean, this is like, so, what are they going to do? Are they going to snap out of it and start acting normal? Or have they really, gone and swallowed the black pill on this one? Forget the red and the blue pill. We're into the black pill now. It's like, how far are you going with this?
Yeah.
You really gonna...
I've been dropping white pills the entire fucking episode. Nobody seems to want to pick them up. Jesus fucking Christ.
I knew Steve was gonna say something then.
What's a white pill? Is that like heroin?
That's fucking Hulk, motherfucker.
Oh, I thought
it's how to get out of this shit. It's
but heroin is a solution.
Forward, which is not thinking that central bank-backed cryptocurrency is going to save you, or your government is going to save you, or the fucking corporations that have partnered with the government to roll out this technocratic fucking fascism are going to save you. That's the black-pilled part. The white-pilled part is we get to do something about it.
I do think you're right. This is like the first time in maybe in like history that we have a real chance to build autonomous networks, etc. Like we have the people who want it. Like we could always build it, but we would have like this small group of activists doing it. Now the normal people are really interested in it. It's like when people are no longer to go to like a barber, like a haircut or a salon to without a QR code thing, without like a vaccine passport. Yeah, well, there's going to be plenty of barbers who want to be like autonomous and just visit people at home and stuff, build their own network for it. Can make a lot of money too. So
this whole second society thing is really creating a really weird black market.
Yeah.
Hey, look, good. And also, let's bring back the gray market. Like, I've fucking have spent my entire adult life primarily in the gray market, and I like it there. You know me. It's fun.
I did too, but like then you start seeing like dragons and the walls start melting and
No.
You do too much of your own stuff.
No, we're talking about two entirely different experiences. But like, yo, I mean, you're going to have a black market when you fucking create idiotic laws and then fucking use your state's monopoly on violence to enforce them. You're gonna have a reaction to that. That's nature. It is.
You know what's a really hot item right now here in LA? Binax fucking COVID tests. There's a big black market for that shit right now.
I'm gonna go slam my head into something hard now.
Dude, you got one of those. I can get you $400 for that.
What about the Pokemon face masks?
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, Go down to LA and hustle fucking. I'm gonna hustle COVID tests and loose cigarettes. See which one gets me shot first.
Actually, one of my exes got busted for that. For selling
They'll
loose
still
trying to
fuck
get
with
like
you over Lucy's for sure.
Yeah, in Chicago it's common. Yeah, because cigarettes are expensive out there. I think almost more expensive than New York.
No, dude, what they do is they go to the fucking reses in Nebraska, drive them through Iowa, and fucking from the Quad Cities. Then they go into Chicago, and there's a whole like bootleg cigarette gang.
Yep. It's a big industry out there because it's so. One pack is like $20 in the city.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Before my sister moved out a handful of years ago, she was paying I think $17.50 for fucking Parliament Lights.
Yeah, we used to drive over the fucking county line just to buy cigarettes. Like at a cart at a time because it's $6 over the fucking border and then $20 a pack once you cross the state line. I grew up in
Indiana. We knew all about that cross border traffic.
Yeah, that's. Oh, you lived in Gary. Gary's a shithole. Crackhead city.
I hung out up in the region. I didn't live in Gary. I lived near Gary, like really, really, really near East Hammond, near Gary. Fucking.
Yeah, when I was working on the south side, I'd always meet people like, "Where do you live?" They're like, "Indiana." Yeah, they live in Indiana. I go, "You don't live in Illinois?" They're like, "Nah, dude, we drive like 2 hours." I was like, "Oh, okay." Really weird cross state lines shit going on over there.
Well, you can't buy booze on Sunday in Indiana, or you couldn't.
No, yes,
I think 2016.
Yeah, the same in Illinois. They had the blue ribbon laws. Yeah.
So you had to drive to another state to buy alcohol on Sunday. But it's not a huge state as long as you're not driving north to south. It's fucking a couple hours.
I heard that's like the trade route. That's how all the guns are getting into Chicago. It's they're all from Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking friendly gun laws. Dude, in my hometown when I grew up, oh my god, this is fucking hilarious. There was a gun shop named Don's Guns. And Don would come on TV and he would wear a cowboy outfit and have a big old bushy mustache, and he'd say, I don't care about money, I just love to sell. He'd wear a cowboy outfit and fucking like point and shoot and wink at the camera. Fucking oh dude, Don hook you up. Don would hook you up. Long live Don.
Oh my god.
I swear to God, you ask anybody that was fucking anywhere around Madison County, they're fucking like Muncie, Indiana, or something like that back in the fucking 80s and 90s, they will remember Don. They will. Motherfucker sold a lot of guns. But Indiana was one of the last places. I think they probably still have wide open gun shows, or mostly wide open gun shows. But it is. That's where they're fucking couple of different, clubs, social clubs. Spend a lot of time recruiting straight-laced looking people to go to Indiana gun shows to then drive a few blocks away to a completely different neighborhood and drop them off so they could get up into Chicago. Allegedly.
It sounds like a RICO conviction.
Right? I mean, the fucking... Although I'm pretty sure at the end of that, chain of command was the DEA, or was the ATF, or was the FBI. Otherwise, they'd arrest more people. Like, at a higher level. But it's just about getting fucking as many people at a low level into the carceral system as humanly possible to perpetuate that fucking pipeline of misery and death.
Facts.
Maybe
You're
I
the
should go
enemy,
take another
Steve.
bong hit. I was funnier when I came back from the first round of bong hits.
The government knows you're the enemy.
Is it really the government still, though, Alamo? I doubt
Well,
it.
you have the puppets that look like the government that allegedly gives a shit about you, but they really don't. But then there's the people behind that finance all these jackasses that they select.
Man,
for.
if only there was a faceless collective of hackers who could expose these people.
Where are they, the white hats that are going to come riding over the hill like the cavalry?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I have said a lot that the job of independent media should be to make the people who don't want to be household names. And I believe that. And the government that we get to see is the government that we get to see. That's a performance, largely.
Yeah, they finance and select who you think you're going to elect. I mean, come on, man. So you can pick any of them. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, in other completely unrelated news, in Brazil, the government got hacked and all the vaccine passports and everything was deleted. They were unable to retrieve
Nice.
their hard disk data.
Well, Bolsonaro is probably the only. He's the only guy kind of bucking their neuroticism down there. I mean, because like the locals in general, they seem like they want all that. They're scared.
Oh, the vaccine mandates and all that.
Yeah.
I haven't really been keeping on tabs on what's been going on because I knew they had it bad months ago, but really pay attention to that.
Well, see, that's kind of the problem. See, I mean, you see your life and your existence out there the way that it is, and that's California, right?
Yeah.
And, and it's amazing that you can be like, say, 1,000 miles in a different direction, and it's not that way. But
Yeah,
you would
I know.
never know it because you're busy. You got your life. I mean, you can't keep track of everything, and you think, well, this is the way it is, when it's really not. I mean, even within the United States, there's a pretty good sized battle going on, and who's gonna like give up on the nonsense, and who's gonna just double down, triple down.
I really don't know what the solution is, but somebody needs to do something.
But I mean, if it's all about the science, then science has got a real problem, because how can you have exactly opposite things going on, and yet, one area can be kind of back to normal, nothing's going on, and in another area, everybody's scared and thinks that the sky's falling. I mean, it really is weird.
It is.
I can't think of any other time when there's been like these regional differences within the states, so bad on something like this. It seems kind of simple, but
Did you hear about the one of the old CIA people who worked for the CIA, who was an expert in civil wars, actually wrote that the statistical data in the United States is actually leading towards a civil war?
yeah.
And
Well, they're saying
that's
that in France. Yeah, it's coming here too. It's
Yeah,
not
that was
bad
coming
yet.
from an old CIA worker. Yeah.
Yeah, because these guys that were doing all this to other countries overseas look at this and they go, "Hey, that's exactly what we used to do in disabling all these other countries when we were fucking them around, and now it's happening here." So they have to know where that leads.
Well, I can't remember a time when I remember people burning shit in the front of the White House. So I mean, they got to say something. Yeah. Do you remember that last July when they were burning shit in front of the White House?
Why
That happens, but
why are they
probably
burning
always
shit in
burn
front of the
flags.
White House? Why aren't they burning
Yeah.
the White House?
They were trying to. that was the thing. And they had put up the retaining wall. Yeah, in Kyrgyzstan, they overthrew their government. Serbia, that happened too. I mean, this is not just like one country where this weird division is going on. And they almost over. Remember, they were in the Serbian presidential palace. You know, they got stopped eventually, but they got in. The same with Kyrgyzstan. They had like a little mini revolution.
I know recently in Romania something like that happened too. I think in Eastern Europe there is a lot of resistance against what's going on right now. A lot of people. That guy from Croatia, that president, he said like, yeah, I'm kind of done with vaccinating now. I'm going to no longer vaccinate anyone here in the country, and you guys can just build a wall around the country if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Viktor Orban is also very similar on that. Yeah. At some point it just has to stop, right? And yeah.
I don't know. I don't see this even ending. Even with these new take-home fucking pills or whatever, I don't see this shit ending.
Yeah, well, I'm not taking anything like a vax or a pill or whatever. I just prefer the virus.
I mean, yeah, that's one way of dealing with it. Just get everybody infected.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's also like, okay, if you argue that, okay, so this virus is really dangerous, it's spreading everywhere, it would be better to get it now than later on.
That's one way of dealing with it. Yeah, just have whoever, yeah. Then everybody would have
stay home for 2 weeks and then just go back to normal.
Not even 2 weeks in some cases.
Yeah, but I know people now that are boosted and vaxxed, and they're getting infected.
But they get COVID already.
No, and I mean, they're not like their cases weren't so bad they couldn't go to the hospital, but were confirmed cases. They're just staying home. But I'm saying is
confirmed by what test?
I don't know. I didn't ask. They went to a clinic.
Because if it was a PCR test over 30 cycles, well, high probability it threw a false positive.
Both the couples, the husband and wife, had it, or they're still in quarantine. But yeah, they were fully vaxxed and boosted, and they got sick too. So
right. Yes, that's correct.
Well, you see, once again, that's that placeholder. The mask and this PCR test are placeholders.
Well, no, the inventor of the test said that they should never be used for the thing that they were being used for right before he died unexpectedly.
Yeah. And he said like it shows nothing if you don't have like actual symptoms or whatever. It just identifies like certain particles in your body or whatever. But
well, and it doesn't identify SARS-CoV-2.
No, it wasn't even made for that. It was made for HIV, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah, it's Gary Mullis made.
And yet it was the gold standard for every fucking country. Again, dude, it's so... when all the mistakes only go one direction, and when the entire process was counter to every other time the medical profession did any of this shit, to the point to where they're saying, oh no, go get double vaxxed if you're already immune compromised, or you're gonna be a fucking transplant, fucking, or if you're getting a transplant, or if you have heart failure. No, dude, at no point would anybody suggest that in the medical profession 3 years ago, unless they were trying to kill you.
Yeah, so what I'm wondering too is like, okay, so in 2004 they discovered a coronavirus here in The Hague in a hospital in a young girl, and they named it New Haven, right? New Haven coronavirus, and it's also named NL63. So, and they estimate now that close to 5% of all respiratory diseases around the world are caused by NL63 coronavirus. I've never heard anything about that on TV, right? But it's spread all over the planet, and it causes 5% of all respiratory diseases, is what they say. You can just read this on Wikipedia, whatever. You can see it there. no one ever talked about it. But now I'm wondering, like, these PCR tests, are they even able to differentiate between the different coronaviruses, for example?
No, not according to the manufacturer.
Yeah, so what if they just see that you have like that NL63 or whatever in your body, which apparently has been around for hundreds of years in humans? So, yeah.
Well, if it's present at whatever cycle they set it at, and it shows up, you tested positive. You did.
Yeah, it's just the fraud of it all. See, anybody with the brain, after listening to all that, would say, "This is a fraud. You are perpetuating a fraud."
Yeah. So what you mean with the cycles is like the more you increase the cycles, you're eventually going to discover something, or you're going to confirm something.
So I mean, I can post a whole bunch of stuff, but essentially, the anything over 35 cycles, 35 to 45 cycles, will throw 9 times out of 10 a false positive, and that number goes up the closer you get to 45 cycles. So baseline 9 times out of 10 at 35 cycles, you get a false positive. In the U.S., almost all of the places where they were testing set their number of cycles at 38. That's what they're instructed to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that gets you your numbers and your alleged cases. But what? Okay, but what is that? Okay, we tested you and we see something, but that doesn't even mean you're necessarily sick. You don't even know you're sick because you're trying to get tested for something. You're not even sure whether you're.
I mean, I know people who got sick. I got sick. Lori got sick.
Yeah, I did too. It was about a year ago, but it's just like, well, okay, and I'm telling you, by after 2 years in, everybody's caught this already. Everybody's got it. So it's over. It was a fraud to begin with. It was based on a fraud, perpetuated as a fraud. It was obvious that all these companies had, pre-planned all these things, beforehand, because it just all magically, happened, at least on their end, very sequentially and very obvious,
Yeah, for like a second I forgot that they originally tried to say that it legit came from a fucking wet market.
Yeah, you're being you can't be so naive that you can't figure out when you're being lied to and gaslit. Okay, I mean, people need to grow the fuck up. When you're getting lied to, you should know when you're getting lied to.
Think about how invested people are in perpetuating at least chunks of it. If not, the whole kit and caboodle. I hope Tyler had to go on his, go to court. We didn't chase him off.
No.
Well, we disagree, but I mean, it's unfortunate.
Nah, he drops off sometimes.
I mean, when it comes down to like the PCR tests and shit, like nothing I've said is me talking shit. Like all of this shit is verifiable, all of it.
Yeah. I mean, you're just regurgitating what they say. They've told you how they were doing this. It's not even legitimate. Number one, everybody bought off on it. You got the media pushing the crap 24/7, 365 for 2 fucking years, and you can't seem to get an edge in anywhere to let any of these clowns know that this is all bullshit. If fucking journalists would look into this at all, you would have known that this was bullshit a year and a half ago at least.
I don't understand who's gonna be surprised this late in the game that the fucking rushed experimental drugs that like the vast majority of the people involved in the creation of were like, hey, wait, that the things that are still in experimental phases that fuck, like, we're still the fucking Comirnaty or whatever, the thing that got approved that doesn't get distributed yet, that thing, like, the actual vaccines that are being distributed are still in the trial phase. Those don't conclude until 2023, at least in the case of Moderna and Pfizer. Like, you haven't figured out that you're a test subject by now. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't. I mean, they're going, okay, look, you're gonna have to get 2 shots and you're done. 1 shot if it's J&J. Okay, well, it looks like you are gonna have to get a booster. Okay, but it'll be a traditional booster, and by that we mean every 6 months. And by that we mean every 3 months, but it looks like the efficacy of the booster wanes in 10 to 20 days now, so it looks like you're going to have to bump that up a little bit. Lubers, if you're talking about that January 15th shot, look for a March 15th shot. I would also look for a May 15th shot. You
know what? Actually, can we get a shot on the March 15th so we can say, beware the Ides of March?
Right? It's either that or April Fool's Day, just so they can have fun with it.
I want the Ides of March just for the little book nerd.
But then make it festive and do it on St. Patty's Day.
For May Day, because that's Workers' Day, but we're going to have everything shut down for them on May Day.
Fuck it, we'll do it on St. Patrick's Day. You come in for a shot and we'll give you a free one too. You get a boost and a shot. Won't that be nice?
Can we do it on the 4th of July?
Oh, yeah, but they're gonna dye the shots red, white, and blue, and they're going to give you a free hot dog and some ice cream.
Slice of apple pie.
Bunch of beer. All the keg beer you want. And your red, white, and blue shot.
Yeah,
They're gonna take the syringe and paint it like a rocket on the 4th of July. You can set it off afterwards. Put a little charge in it.
And you know what? These hucksters will get away with it because they truly understand the population and just how naive and pathetic that they are. They're going to get away with it.
Still got their fucking brains, bro. I mean, it is a mass formation event. This is what a mass formation event looks like. This is 40% of the population under psychosis. It's rough. No, man. I don't know. A lot of people running around like fucking crazy thinking they're doing the abs goddamn loot right thing, too. A lot of good people.
It's
I was
sad.
fucking going off on this on another show earlier, man. Fucking my friend Sam Tripoli says a lot. People would rather be right and do right. And when the narrative is saying this is right, this is the only thing that's right, and if you're disagreeing with that, not only are you treasonous, but you're a murderer. Well, then people are going to want to be right. They're not going to want to do right. And see what happens when people stick their neck out.
Well, the other thing there, I mean, there's like psychology there. Like, if people hear from what they perceive as an authority figure, something, and that includes jumping off a cliff when I tell you, a lot of people will do it. if some authority figure tells them it's like this is for the betterment of for social good, for the betterment of all, you need to jump off this fucking cliff. I mean, a certain number of people are going to do it. But like for this COVID and all, I mean, that's what works. Government is telling you this, so people just follow along, and they think they're doing the right thing, but they're not thinking it through. They're just being duped by government. And then when it becomes obvious that they have been duped, the tragedy is that they don't want to admit they've been fucked, and decide to do something about it instead of continuing to go along, which is what they're doing. So it's just more of the same. You can't fix stupid.
Hey, so how will 2022 look like?
Mad Max.
Oh boy.
People in the Netherlands eating out of garbage cans. How about that? By the end of the year.
No, they will be eating Germans before they eat out of garbage cans.
Well, it happened in Spain, didn't it? I think it happened in Spain.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know.
That was for they had a currency crisis or something a few years ago, and that was going on. But I mean, from the European perspective, shouldn't this would have to look like other periods of history where the people were getting abused badly by their kings and queens or some government at the time. This has to look similar to. I mean, we talked about that last time, the cannibalism of 1672, but
Yeah, you remember that.
Hey, stuff like that I remember. Yeah, that's worth remembering.
I mean, we can just go back 100 years, right? I mean, really, last time there was a major, complete and total economic collapse and crash and I don't know, depression, then sort of reset. And what we got out of that was solidification of pretty much all of the worldwide business concerns that, orchestrated that particular event. So, kind of just seems like a little bit of housekeeping. Only this time we have the internet, and this time we have the ability to organize while it's happening instead of trying to pick each other up after the fact.
Yeah, you would think that would help the situation.
I think it is helping the situation. I do. I think it's helping the situation. I do.
Yeah, it's not totally shut down yet. I mean, you still have something going for you.
Well, at least morally, I guess, that no one can actually claim that they're unaware because they have access to the information. So they have the moral choice, like, are you going to do the good thing or the bad thing? Back then, you didn't know about it, right? It happens in secret. Like there's secret camps and killing people and all these things. Now they can see what's going on, so choose.
It is a choice. It is, man. There's a whole segment of media dedicated to not looking this direction at all, and instead is focused on social justice or fucking whatever wedge issue division porn they can find. Proud Boy, Antifa, fucking whatever. And everything that stems from that. To specifically not look at this. And both of those groups in particular, their entire opinions on what's happening with the Rona is rooted on talking point A from red team or talking point B from blue team, and nothing else, and that's it.
Well, and
no other thought
making
shall
sure
enter.
you're in opposition to the other side.
Yeah.
Okay,
that you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so and when I see like, okay, I still see this that whole division thing of Antifa and right wingers and whatever going on social media, but if people actually still believe in that stuff, maybe you should have a look at the recent videos of the big protests in Brussels, where actually Antifa and right wingers and whatever are marching together against this.
Yep.
I saw that and I showed it on Slow News Day.
Good, because that shows that because this is actually hurting everyone, and this is not about political differences anymore.
The MCSC network has been on kind of a crusade over the last year to try and get some of these people to understand that, like, what happens in the U.S. and what you see largely on the ground here is like quote unquote Antifa or quote unquote the Proud Boys are no quotes feds and then idiots who get sucked into that shit because they have no fucking friends and nothing else to do.
I'm sick and tired of your ism schism game.
Yeah,
right?
You use logic too. I mean, like you're talking about fascism, corporatism, fascism, which is a natural enemy of pure capitalism, right? But it's also, if you claim to be Antifa, you're also anti-fascism. So it makes complete sense that you march together with people who are pro-capitalism against this corporatism.
Agreed.
New fascism. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, well, and that's where Action for Assange was trying to come in too. Like, hey, none of this shit is partisan. This shit has an ideology attached to it. If you believe one way about a thing, there's a good reason for you to be opposed to this. If you believe this way about a thing, there's a good reason for you to be opposed to this. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking... it's that so much has been spent in terms of resources to make sure that division exists and to make sure that division is exploited at every possible turn. The fact that something as stupid as an airborne respiratory virus got to be this politicized shows how fucking primed the pump was for it. I don't think you could have got away with this 5 years ago. They tried.
They have tried in the past. Yeah, there's
tried.
Been multiple tries
they tried with fucking swine flu. They tried with a few different things. Anthrax. You fucking know, dude. It wasn't working. Without the breaking of Occupy, without the Smith Modernization Act, without the fucking completely bought and paid for limited hangout independent media, none of this shit gets to go. Without Donald Trump or fucking, Russiagate, QAnon, all of that shit. All of it had to happen. While at the same time, Donald Trump printing fucking money like it's going out of style to the tune of what? Almost $27 trillion since August of 2019 now?
Yeah, I mean, he sadly, I got to admit, he tapped into that really stupid religious crowd that is very cult-like, and they fell in love with him. And then by the end of it all, he totally abused his base, and they're still okay with that. I'd say he's lost about a third of it, but 2/3 of his supporters will jump off a cliff for him. That's the
For
problem.
sure. Bernie Sanders,
y'all,
same way.
Y'all just don't understand. He's playing 3D chess, bro. Like
3D, it's like 53D.
No, the problem is, he's playing 4D chess on his supporters. He's not playing 4D chess on anybody else that knows and looks at him and knows what the fuck's
he's
going
straight
on.
up making his fans clap for him after they booed him for getting the vaccine. And he's like, no, it's your win. The vaccine's your win. Fucking...
Yeah, that whole operation that signed over all our fucking health data to Palantir. Brilliant.
Oh, dude, he brags about warp speed every time he gets in front of the camera. He did what nobody else could. It's supposed to take anywhere from 5 to 20 years to get. We did it in 9 months. How fucking crazy is that? Huh?
Exactly.
You know, like,
and you know what? His supporters just completely forget about it. You know, I'll be in all kinds of conversations with them at like these mandate events or in these Telegram chats, and they're over here like, "Oh my God, Daddy Emperor Trump would never let these mandates happen. Oh my God, let's go, Brandon."
And now, and he is saying. And now he's saying no mandates. Now that it's going to the Supreme Court, now that he's gauging actually how seriously he's going to take 2024 and feeling that shit out and looking at Ron DeSantis like, I don't know if you've earned this yet, buddy. Like,
oh my God, please. I'm not ready.
Steve hears some shit. Steve hears some shit.
I am not ready to deal with the Ron DeSantis cult of personality because I'm from Florida.
Fuck, dude, it's gonna
I'm from Florida, so I've been watching it happen. I've been watching this materialize from the moment he ran his campaign for governor, and I'm just like, oh no.
You know what's even worse?
Here's what Florida's not too smart either. They forget early in the pandemic, he shut down both interstates into the state. You know, to go along with Trump. He was totally playing politics. I mean, the guy's a shitbag.
Oh, the former Gitmo guard and Israel's bitch is a shitbird? You don't say. You don't say. The guy who fucking makes private businesses pledge allegiance to Israel is a bad guy? You really?
Yeah, well, here, Governor Abbott does that too. In order to get hurricane relief, you have to sign a pledge to Israel. You know, that's the kind of rhino GOP pieces of shit that you have here in Texas. They're Zionists, man. I mean, it's like
I hate to break it to you,
Israel?
Man, that's not a rhino. That's
a traitor.
The grand old party. That's who the Republicans are.
I mean, Florida is in particular is like a hotbed for Zionism. I mean, Florida and New York, like Broward County, Florida, shit.
Yeah. Well, they all go down I-95 from New York City.
Oh yeah.
It's true. You got a bunch of religious, same problem here. Yeah, allegedly religious. They're not too smart. That's it. But that's okay. That's the way they like you. They know they got
this
you.
Presumptuous fuck thinks everybody drives to Miami. Come on. You know people are taking airplanes. This is not solely the 95. Fucking. Yeah, you might. I mean, I hear many a snowbird community. I don't fucking. But no, dude, I'm serious. DeSantis is going to be a shit show to watch, and you know what's funny though? Like, what will be fun, Glory, about the DeSantis shit show?
What?
Is he will have a like tier 2 grifter verse around him that will be endlessly entertaining.
I don't
that
even
whole
know.
TPUSA crowd. Well, no, they're still pushing Trump. I don't know who's pushing.
No, they're a fucking they're bagmen. Charlie Kirk. He's there to throw money around and hope to get a little bit of influence. That's what I mean, they'll lick Trump's asshole, sure. But as soon as it's clear who, whoever Republican nominee is going to be, or whatever fucking midterm election they need to throw some fucking juice into, they're going to be doing that too. They're fucking lobbyists, man. Hustlers.
Charlie Kirk just reminds me of the cucumber from VeggieTales.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Turning Points USA Speaker James Lindsay will be Slow News Day guest this Sunday.
Oh my fucking god.
I actually like their logo, TP USA, because it's actually very, indicative of what they are. TP.
Yeah, dude. Charlie
that's
Kirk
what you
is
get. You're going to need a wipe after that.
Even like other young conservative groups would shit talk them all the time.
I know, man. I know.
So funny. It would be so funny, like going to talk to some people I knew in Young Americans for Freedom YAF. It would be so funny going to talk to them and just hear them endlessly shit on TPUSA and Charlie Kirk.
I want to know how much Charlie Kirk paid Rittenhouse to show up. I'm not gonna ask Lindsay how much he got paid on Sunday. He's a guest. That would be rude. But I want to find out how much Rittenhouse got paid to speak there.
Guys,
because I know they pay for all of their speakers. I know they fucking give them like a really nice fucking... Huh?
There's breaking news. There is now stronger, more heavy COVID measures in Greece. Everyone has to now wear double masks.
You're joking.
Right. Let's all talk about the science on that one, huh? Yeah.
Please tell me you're joking, Luby.
No, this is real.
The seat of democracy has fallen again.
Oh my god.
I just... Cartoon, man. Cartoon. For the Omicron, the one that doesn't kill you, the one that doesn't fight. Like this, again, dude, when it's this counterintuitive, red flags should be going up. I hate to be repetitive. Really do.
I'm starting to believe that they can actually push everybody's face into the dirt and make a slave out of them, and they're probably going to sign up for it and think it's okay. I really think that's where we're going with this. If you make it this easy for the bad guys, maybe they're onto something. Maybe they've done all the psychological studies and they know just how pathetic we are, and that will go for this. I mean, because so far it's working. And it's the holidays, so we need to treat you badly. Happy holidays. Oh, wear 2 masks. Yeah, it doesn't work, but, there's no science behind it or any physics, but that's beside the problem. Just put your mask on.
Just make sure you're showing commercials every 5 seconds that say, masks work, and just flashing.
It's the science, and then show a mask,
Okay, so
okay.
I gotta hang on.
Got it. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop a picture in the chat.
Are you getting the picture that I think it is?
Motherfucker, yes I am.
Oh my god, no. This picture actually pissed me off. Oh my god, I knew it.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Covering one of the most interesting parts of the fake dinosaur to look at.
Is that because of that meme that he got extinct because he couldn't wash his hands?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what that means. Poor T-Rex couldn't properly wash his hands. And Reach put the mask on in the first place.
Oh yeah, couldn't do that either.
Man, that's right.
Of course you're extinct.
Yeah. And because he didn't trust the science, he wouldn't take the caveman vaccines.
Well, whether he trusted the science or not, once that comet or whatever it was hit the Earth, did it really matter? I mean, was there any? The science was behind the extinction. You know, it's like.
What if that comet had the COVID in it?
Oh man, that's right. It was a COVID comet. Fuck, I never thought of that. Well, I'm just gonna have to reread all my science books that I went when I went to college because I don't remember any of this. I really don't.
I don't even know anymore if I'm supposed to laugh about these things or like just feel really sad.
You have to laugh, or else it'll all be awful.
It is actually really fucking awful.
Well, it gets to the root of the human problem, and that is you got psychopaths at the top, elite psychopaths who like to rule over people, and you got a mostly population of sheep that likes to be abused. It's a it's a symbiotic relationship, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, not that lady.
Yeah, I've seen that too. These people having these huge face shields and stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Nothing will ever beat the time I was at an airport and I saw a woman literally pushing her child in the stroller with a huge plastic bag over the stroller. Or like a plastic covering or something.
I think that's some of the protocols now in some of the hospitals. They got some of these patients who refuse to get vaxxed. They'll put you in like a big plastic bag, literally.
Oh my god, let's really fuck off with that shit.
You know, because it's all about the science. You know.
Well, I mean, that's why Alyssa Milano knitted her COVID mask. that was at least worth a silver in the virtue signaling Olympics.
You saw, was that show IQ Hollywood? Is that the?
I did not see that.
Oh man.
So we're about the lady in the picture though, Dana. Dana, in her post, said that she was not fucking around with the Omicron, and so she not only has her vote mask on, but underneath that is an N95 that is surgically taped to her face, according to her. She also has 2 pairs of gloves on, and the face shield, of course. She is also Xanaxed to the hilt, and ready to get on the plane. She turned comments off of that tweet.
Oh, what a coward! On top of all that, you know, you don't want to hear anything.
But so I thought it was fake. I did. I'm like, oh, dude, that's a good one. Did you actually scroll the TL? I know she may be protected now, but it was not. The opinions reflected in that particular tweet were consistent throughout the account. I mean, what do you do with that?
Yeah, nothing anymore. It's like, no. We're pretty much just a robot at that point.
With a vote mask. Vote.
Yeah, vote these nuts.
Oh man.
What are those tissues? Is that he's got something stuck up her nose? I don't get that.
No, that's the surgical tape around the second mask under the vote mask. She surgically taped an N95 to her face, according to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone tell her that she needs like an N97 to be safer.
Right? Right? If it was a dude, I would tell him that slamming your junk in the car door is the only way to cure COVID.
Hey, if a government official told them that, they'd probably do it. Or if Donald Trump told an arena of his supporters to do that, I bet you there'd be a few thousand people at the emergency room. It's a cult, man. Those are all the things. See, the mask, the face shield. It's like the new religious garments for the priest. You come in with all that stuff, and it's like you're clean and holy now.
I thought the priests were the ones that were wearing the white lab coats.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Is that like a high priest thing? They're like Fauci, like the COVID Pope?
Yeah, I mean, there is that tendency for a certain amount of...
Ferguson.
Yeah, that God element, God syndrome with the medical folks, but...
If you criticize me, you were criticizing science.
Oh my god.
No, you get more of a northeast accent.
Is an attack on science. So I am science. Want to fight about it?
You know what? I would rather listen to your Fauci voice than the actual Fauci.
Thank you, Glory. I appreciate that. That was a bad Fauci, too. Pull off.
But you know what? Because it was a bad Fauci, I don't mind listening to it because, as I've said before, Anthony Fauci has a natural-sounding pedophile voice. So.
That's true. And I had to, in fairness, I've spent the last several days like getting high and doing Norm Macdonald voice.
Good job.
Dude, me and Sleepy have been like norming at each other randomly since that whole fucking should have been a dog walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking I'm not gonna go into that. That's funny as shit though. It is. Long live Norm.
Those are the people of the new church.
Yeah.
You must pledge allegiance to the state. No, not pledge. You have to pray to the state.
I gotta say though, even the people that are still running around thinking that the United States government should give them health care, and then that's the end of that thought, and they're not thinking it through any further beyond that. Like, even those people, to a degree, and growing bigger every day, are going, hey, wait a minute, man, something's not right. Something's not right. And look, dude, I know for a goddamn fact that in most of these towns that I've been in, the vast majority of people, even if they got shot 1 or shot 2, are like, no. too many people have had adverse reactions. Too many people know somebody that has been fucked up for days. And they're like, I don't know, man. Doesn't really seem that helpful.
But they're still neurotic and they're scared. So
yeah, that's why you can't just fucking sit there all day and be like, you're a fucking idiot slave. Like, you actually have to treat people like humans and allow for them to make some mistakes, especially if they're coming around.
Nah, I prefer to point the finger at them and laugh at how long it took and how stupid they are to reinforce
that's
the
your
message.
gig and you're free to do that, but fuck, dude, hope you don't need help one day. You know? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna try and balance that shit out a little bit. A little bit.
I'm done with these people, man. I'm not interested in helping them anymore.
All I know is just given how many times you've been wrong on this fucking stream alone, if we were holding that against you, it'd be rough.
Well, wrong about what, Steve? You're far wronger than I am on most things.
Well, in the first place, your 90% estimate, which we got you to walk back. That was the first one. You did totally not paid attention to like any of the shit that we've discussed previously because the whole guns thing surprised you. It's just, man, be open to the fact that you make some mistakes and be open to the fact that other people do too. You don't gotta fucking cook them dinner. You don't. You know, but it's possible that you're capable of it too. Little bit of that goes a long way, I think. I don't know. I'm high.
Not anymore.
What do I know?
After 2 years. No.
Yeah, we all have. Everybody on this call has. A lot of us have been out in the streets during this and like doing shit the whole time while trying to wake people up about it with varying degrees of success, all of it in an upward direction.
Okay.
Who's got pie? Not doing like a Christmas party thing? That's just the other two shows today?
Christmas.
I know. Had my dad still been alive, this would have been my parents' 55th anniversary.
Aww.
Today. Yeah.
Well, Levi Ackerman's birthday is in 2 days.
I don't know if Levi Ackerman's birthday is.
It's a character from Attack on Titan.
I know! That's why I'm laughing. Jesus Christ, Joe.
I know, but Luby asked who he was.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hi, Tyler.
Did she get you straight?
I don't think he heard us.
You got your list of chores, Tyler?
Honeydews?
Wow.
Must be bad. He's not talking.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm back. I wasn't sure what was going on. I didn't realize I didn't have my cord inside my device. I was like, why is it doing that?
Nah, you came in during a little lull of dead air, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm getting tired too. They better not say we're out of water after this storm. Fuck.
Oh,
No,
but
I heard
they
all the-
will, because for all the water that comes from the sky, people still don't know how to manage it. So
Yeah, all the reservoirs are still low.
it doesn't make any sense to me, you know, like how, like, remember, like, even a week ago they were talking about fining us $500 for going over our water limits. I was like, it just rained. How can we be out of water? You know?
Well, let's see. You got rid of some dams up there, weren't they? Wasn't California on a plan to remove dams for some silly reason?
Dumping it out in the Pacific Ocean because fuck you. That's why. It is what they did to Lake Oroville, Lake Mendocino, a couple other ones. I would drive through this fall on Highway 20, which goes through Clear Lake, but in Mendocino County, it also goes right by Lake Mendocino. Lake Mendocino, bone fucking dry, man. Like, nary a confused catfish. Bad. Bad. And then 12 miles, 8 miles down the road, you get to the upper part of Clear Lake, fucking full.
I don't know. Like, I've been saying this for a long time, you know, like, there's a state surrounded by water, but yet they can't get water. It's fucking retarded.
Well, if they could figure out desal in a way that didn't destroy the fucking, like, coastal water line and the immediate marsh beds and shit like that, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, they could get a tube, you know, like 20, 30 miles out.
Offshore desal?
Yeah, they can do it. They can do it. You can desalinize by protecting the environment. It's pretty easy. You just gotta. It's more expensive, but you can get it to the point where it's pretty damn safe to everything around it. You know.
Are you underwater with the tunnel? Or are you above?
It would be underwater. The tube would be underwater. Yeah, if you just stretch it out way out there. Yeah.
What's 30 miles of setting tube gonna do to the seabed there? It goes down 6 miles as soon as you get out of the fucking big ass trench right out there.
Oh, I mean, the chances of you affecting any wildlife out there, you know, that far out is much more slim.
Lori Jones?
I mean, I've already had this convo with Tyler, but I mean, you can't be too cautious with dealing with the seabed. It depends on the foundation too, because that's the thing. Like, yeah. I wouldn't recommend this for something like Florida, where the foundation is mostly limestone, but...
Hey, there's oil off the coast too, Tyler. Let's drill it. Because I'm from Texas, that's what we do. Do you want to participate in the 21st century or not?
Maybe.
You're going to have to give up something. You know, it's not going to be all butterflies and fucking daisies. Be some industrial plants and some industry that you're going to have to put up with. But, you know, if you don't want to do that, you know, it's all right. But don't complain.
I really honestly don't feel like we have to do that whole Internet of Things thing.
Internet of these nuts.
Right? I mean...
There's jobs for the shipyards. Man, you're not thinking this out.
Yeah, those jobs at the ship. I have a bunch of friends out there. Like, it's still a shit show. They're still doing the lottery system, too. They're all lying to you if you think all the fucking the ports are all the port problems are all fixed because they still have fucking like what 70 ships still waiting out there. I don't know where the fucking White House comes up with these fucking bonehead ideas, but They didn't solve the poor problems at all. They still have the same problems.
The lottery system is all of the Christmas retail shit.
Well, they've been doing the lottery for a long time, and it doesn't make any sense for the day workers. But I guess people like doing it. But a lot of those guys, they're not guaranteed work every day. Now they are because they have too much work. But I don't know. I could never work like that. Work on a lottery system. That's just too different. Yeah. I had a buddy who did it, and I was like, he's making a lot of money, but I was just like, not guaranteed that you're going to work every day is not a good feeling. I don't know. Maybe that's like normal in that field. I don't know.
It's normal for a significant portion of the country.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
There's no probably about it. I mean, fuck, dude. There's days I don't eat, it's just fucking how shit is.
Yeah, I mean, I know the guys. I know that once they've been there for a while, they don't have to do the lottery system, but all new guys do. I think it's done on purpose, though. Because I know the crane operators, they're making like $250K.
Crane operators make bank, dude.
And they're all union too, so it's hard to get in. And they're all like, you got to know somebody to be a crane operator. You can be like the best crane operator in the world, and you're not getting into the ports unless you know somebody. And there's no room for error over there.
Yeah, no, my friends that are crane operators are the logging companies or CDF. Those guys are fucking hectic.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe all this COVID shit just pointing out all the problems we didn't know existed in this country. I don't know.
Oh, it's done that all right.
Yeah, we didn't. There's a major logistical issues in this country, and I didn't even know it was that bad.
I feel like it's highlighted a whole lot of problems that people are tripping over each other to diagnose incorrectly.
Yeah. Yeah, now the whole country's falling apart, and people are worried about the abortions. I go, you got your guys' priorities wrong.
I mean, Chomsky said that the decline of the American empire began post-World War II, immediately post-World War II.
If you ever read The Fate of Empires, a survival guide, we are well into a fall of an empire, but you are right.
Yeah, no.
The first sign is a loss of sense of duty, and that started around I would say me personally, mid-60s. But that's when we got our priorities wrong. We start getting mixed up in wars we don't belong in. Jumping into fucking Vietnam, a place we don't even belong.
Well, that and the MK Ultra. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's fucking. It's less a fall or a decline and more of a controlled demolition and relocation of the capital of Rome.
Yeah.
It's not like we are a civilization in decline. We are a society under controlled demolition. And the sooner everybody figures that bit out, the sooner we can get on to the part where we do the breakaway societies and counter economics and not have to worry about this shit.
It's like society is collapsing in on itself, so you need a reset of sorts.
Whoa. Whoa.
I mean, a good hit LSD will do that. Reset your mind. Yeah, reset your brain.
How about a great reset?
A great reset. Just dose everybody. The great reset. You see the little guy fucking shooting bows and arrows at nothing. The sky. Fucking good dose of LSD. I don't know. Like a project.
Are you doing a bit right now? I can't tell.
I'm sober as sober can be.
He just wants California to be better, man. I mean, can you blame him?
Built back better?
Yeah, I mean, you destroyed it, so at least build the motherfucker back better.
Right? That's the least you can do. Yeah, it's almost like a fourth industrial revolution, you might say.
One that could put in place this new global governance or a new world order, maybe.
Right. I wonder what that would sound like.
We can't even get countries to agree with each other. One government wouldn't work.
The countries might
don't
act
necessarily
like they don't like each other,
need that.
but when it comes to mining the oceans, they're pretty on the same page with that. When it comes to making sure that
you don't need a one world government. You just need a set of global leaders who meet to determine what governments do. That's the global governance.
Yeah, maybe they should have
totally different.
Somewhere in Switzerland, Steve.
Right? They're neutral. The Swiss, they're neutral.
I was going to say, if the EU was any ploy into the New World Order, it's a good determination that anything on that large of a scale is doomed to fail. They couldn't even get the EU, and it's falling apart. So that was a bad idea. That was a real bad idea. You're making other people's economic problems your problems, and now Greece problems is everybody. Remember when Greece was going down, and that was everybody else's problem? They had to sell off Greece.
Yeah, they sold you that, because you were going to be all together, that you were going to be stronger, and then you just gave up your sovereignty, and now you got a bunch of bureaucrats that don't give a shit about you telling you what to do.
Oh yeah, and you got to pay fines to a union you don't even ever see any benefits out of. So what's the point? It's just more governments, and you got to pay off other people's problems.
Well, yeah, it's just it's one more way that the guys at the top they insert another layer of government that you can blame for all the bad things because they are doing it to you, but never blame them, the guys that implemented it for you. That's the trick. Everybody forgets who, installed all that shit for you, and now you get to blame the flunkies and the puppets on the bottom end. It's like, yeah, they're still shit bags, but they're not the guys you really should be hating.
Whatever happened to Brexit? I've never been following up on it. Did that ever go through?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's being delayed because it's just more freedom. We can't have that. So we really lied to you. It's like we told you we were going to break free, but then we're still talking about it. We're working on it.
Part of the EU. Like they officially left the EU. Lubers.
Yeah. And they always kept
that's
their own.
Brexit did.
But they were always smart enough to keep their own currency, right? So it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys keep the Dutch money, or did you guys use the euro now?
Well, everyone is euro. I mean, yeah.
It's all Rothschild.
I remember for a long time the euro was worth a lot more than U.S. money. Now it's like the same.
Yeah.
It's losing value. So is the American dollar losing value every day.
Not that yuan though.
See, this is where AK would jump in and talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge scam, the euro thing. Yeah. Because pretty much now the prices are the same. The euro was worth like over 2 times our own currency we had before that. But now it's the same prices, right? So they literally like made everything double as expensive. And yeah, just ripped.
Yeah, with the. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, if this is if this is what do you call it? You know, the elite plan, they can't even fucking get Europe together. God forbid they try Asia or Africa or North America.
You're totally not hearing any of this shit, man. You're totally not hearing it. What about controlled demolition? Are you missing? Like, destabilization is the goal.
So they're creating safe havens and then.
Well, for themselves, those safe havens already exist.
Am I getting reported on Twitter? What the fuck?
Huh?
This is like the second time I've been logged out today. My account.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it happens all fucking time. Like, am I getting reported or what?
Well, you're on too many lists now. You finally achieved what you've been trying to achieve in your whole life. You got on enough government lists that now you're in trouble.
And it keeps on telling me, like, check out the fucking thing every time it logs me out, and I'm just like, dude, is this like a bug? It's been going on for like 5 days.
They're social engineering you.
They're doing it with me just to fuck
yeah,
with
they're just
me.
seeing how many times they can log you out before you'll get pissed off.
I remember it used to happen randomly. Now it's like every day.
Hey, Tyler, I heard there's a lifeboat, though.
Where's the lifeboat?
Fuck you, Steve.
We're all gonna go to the Ark and wait it out? Is that what it is?
Yep. 2 by 2. That's how we gonna do it.
Alright. Me and my wife are gonna get in. All you guys can go spend for yourselves. I'm playing.
I thought there's only 144,000 at the end of all this.
Oh, you know, it was a joke. I used to say this when I was like, when this happened. I said, "What if the 144,000 that are saved are like people in like hospital gowns?"
Oh, and
yeah.
they were all
virgins.
In those first videos out of China.
Yeah.
We already missed the boat.
Yeah, we missed the boat, bro. The Chinese got there first.
We done missed the rapture.
Yeah, we gotta wait this one out till like something pops out of the sea.
Oh, Harold was right.
Yeah, the Leviathan. There you go. He's gonna rage.
I'd buy that.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna rage his fury. Yeah, I always said it. You know, like shit's going down when you hear about news in Tel Megiddo, and people go like, "What's Tel Megiddo?" I go, "You never read the Torah? That's Armageddon, bro."
The National Institute of Health report shows that SARS-CoV-2 replicates for up to 6 months in the human body after the initial infection, suggesting that is why people test positive more than once. And why long COVID is a thing.
Yeah, that's not specifically only to COVID though, and it happens with other viruses too.
So what do you guys think it has been mentioned more now in the media? The word COVID or the word Bin Laden?
Probably COVID. I don't think I've heard Bin Laden said in a while.
Yeah, but I mean in total, like in the entire history.
Oh, in history? Oh, maybe not yet. Yeah. Bin Laden went on for like 15 years. Yeah.
You know, right? Like all day. I have to like look at these towers collapsing all the time too. I'm not even from the USA. I have to look at the same thing.
Yeah, I remember like there was like a point in time where that was like a distant memory. Yeah. Everybody stopped talking about it. 08 or somewhere around there.
Well, that was one of them where you were not supposed to follow the science, because if you followed the science, you knew that the whole thing was just a setup, just like all the rest of it.
Yeah, like the
the whole fire leading to the collapse and all that. I mean, it was just more of the same. You know, it's just this disassociation with a reality. You know,
yeah, the way it was built too, it shouldn't have fallen apart like that. And I don't believe the pieces were welded together. They were hooked in place like Lego blocks. Shouldn't have fallen apart like that. Sure. That looked like a controlled demolition. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, and so you fought the same kind of, detachment from reality. You know, you had this huge part of the population that, went for it hook, line, and sinker, and believes all the bullshit, and et cetera, et cetera. And,
Tower 7 falling down.
The links,
Tower 7 falling down on its own without getting hit by anything. And everybody goes, "Oh, it's an underground explosion." No, that's not what happened. It just fell down for no reason. Nothing hit it. Nothing touched it.
Yeah, and you can have all these architects and engineers, tell you that, hey, it just doesn't happen that way. It's just that's impossible. But
same with
the science on that. We're not gonna go that far with the science.
Same with the plane that went down in Philly, and the Pentagon one that disappeared. They said it vaporized. They go, fucking titanium Pratt Whitney engine blades do not fucking disintegrate in jet fuel explosions. You need something much hotter.
But once again, it didn't have to be true. We'll just show those, like you say, the two towers falling all the time, and just show it to you day after day after day, and same pattern of BS.
Yeah.
And that was another one. After a short period, you see it say, "Hey, wait, there's too many anomalies here." You got all these engineers saying, "Hey, that's not how it works." And if these buildings fell for that reason of fire, then every building in this country is suspect, and we better watch out, right? But oh no, it only happened with these buildings at this time, and everything's okay now. So even their logic doesn't make sense.
Do you remember a group of independent people that did dust samples from the explosion sites? You remember what they found?
Yeah, nanoferrite. Yeah.
Yes, they did. They found accelerant and thermite. Yeah, I mean, which you could find these chemicals pretty much everywhere except for the accelerant. That's kind of a dead giveaway. There was the oxidizer.
The other part was the particle size. It was all militarized. It's like you don't see that stuff until it's like
that was
grade shit.
Yeah, that was professionally mixed. The fine grains. Yeah, because I don't know. I messed around with thermite in my pyro days. You don't get shit like that. You got to put an accelerant in it, but to get like liquid magma from the metal. But yeah, it can be done. So yeah, thermite can get explosive. Can be more dangerous if you add like an oxidizer. That's what it's designed for, to melt metal.
Well, same response to what's the response to this alleged tragedy or event? Well, we got to shut everything down, right? We got to shut down the airlines and everything for 4 or 5 days. We got to.
Oh, now we have TSA, and there's no need for TSA anymore. Nobody's trying to fucking blow up the fucking planes anymore. Okay, now you just create. Now when you go to the fucking airport, in any country now, I'm getting tested for bombs. Every country. Like when I was in Egypt recently, I had 4 security checks that I have to go through. That's just because of one incident.
Yeah, it's all part of that same old plan. It's like, how come every time something like this happens, what's the solution? to shut everybody down, to clamp everything down, to make everything more difficult, more security, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Same plan.
So
this one will kind of wane away. See, they got to wait a little while too. They can't do too many things at one time. You got to. But honestly, it's like how long could you squeeze 9/11? You got about all you could out of that turnip. It's time for something else.
Yeah. Convinced 250 million people that some guy in the desert did it. That's saying a lot how gullible people are.
Well, they didn't tell you the rest of the story. It wasn't just a guy in a cave. It was a guy in a cave that had a lot of connections and a rich family behind him, and he was a CIA asset and an FBI informant. I mean, he had a lot going for him.
You know how he got on the radar, right? You know how he got on the radar with the CIA, right? The court case in 1999. Remember with that fucking wannabe terrorist? And then he made up Al Qaeda. He was making up like this 1,000 thieves kind of fucking myth in court. And he was just lying just to get a witness protection program. You ever heard about that?
That one, no. I thought he got known for that.
No, there was a bombing at one of the embassies in Africa. That's where this case came from, and he dropped Bin Laden's name in a fictitious terrorist group. That was in 1999. Yeah.
But he'd already been working with us since the 80s and the Mujahideen and all this. I mean, it's just like, you gotta, if you're gonna tell a story and a lie, get your damn story straight. You can't tell a little bit of a story over here and a little bit of story over there. I'm talking about the government, not anybody here. You have to be consistent. You can't tell a story and then, even at the end of the, like say in the 1990s, you say, well, wait a minute, this guy works for you. The FBI, this guy works for you, the CIA and the government. He's one of your assets. It's not like you don't know what's going on. And then what do you hear in the media? These same old bullshit stories. Oh, the rogue vigilante.
Oh yeah, you hear about this. Even how they disposed of him. Like they caught him in a retirement home in Pakistan, and they flew his body on a ship to the North Pole and dropped it. Like that shit doesn't happen. Come on, why would they do that?
Well, and then part of that story was that we buried him according to like Islamic rituals. It's like, well, dumping his body at sea, I don't think that has anything to do with Islam. I don't remember seeing that anywhere, or hearing that.
No, the Islamic thing is you have to be buried the same day that they die. Same Jewish culture.
So that didn't pan out. That didn't make sense. It's like,
exactly.
After a while, it's like, come on, how many lies do they have to tell, and you catch them at before you realize that you're being lied to?
I'm not saying Bin Laden was an innocent guy. He wasn't innocent at all. But I'm just saying that he wasn't the mastermind that everybody thought he was.
No,
he was a patsy for.
Yeah, he was useful when they needed a guy, fighting the Russians way back then, and along with others.
Yeah, now
but then when they're done with you, and you're part of another, event that you didn't even know you were really going to be a part of. And then they're done with you, well, then they get rid of you.
Yeah, they do.
It's like Gaddafi, he was the golden boy in '69, Lieutenant Colonel Gaddafi, was our boy. What happened, How come all of a sudden he's not our friend, we've got to go over there and blow him up, because that's what we do.
So he's gonna get 2 747s and fly him into makes no sense.
Yeah.
None of it makes any sense. And the guys could barely fly planes, and they were all fucking high on cocaine. Remember that? They were all like, they weren't even sober when they did it.
Because it was all computer controlled,
Remember they found his passport too, all intact? That was just very convenient. From a plane accident. Within days of a plane accident. That's ridiculous. And remember the plane? Remember the plane blew up in a fireball? How could there be anything left? Come on. I've seen some pretty good magic tricks. I just don't understand why adults fall for it.
Listen to these stories, man. I mean, that's why this population is so dumbed down. It's part of it is what you're hearing, but the other part of it is the shit that you'll believe.
Well, if they believe that JFK will appear on the grassy knoll, God help us. You remember that? All of the QAnons?
Was it the Q and who was that? That was JFK Jr. and who was that? Well, anyway, see, if it's crazy and just totally insane, people will believe it. You can get 200, 300 people there at least for that.
You can get a significant portion of Hollywood out there for it. You can get Jesus Christ himself out there for it. Or at least the guy who played Jesus. The Passion of the Christ. Not kidding. Jim Caviezel showed up for that.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was keynoting a Q convention in Vegas like a couple of months ago. We played a clip of it. He was doing the Braveheart speech.
Mel the alcoholic?
No. Jim Caviezel, the guy who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ, is a huge QAnon guy. What? He was at a Q convention in Vegas a few months ago, and Jim Caviezel was doing the Braveheart speech. Like, kind of in accent. It was hilarious. And then, pivoted straight into some Revelations shit.
Oh, wow. Well, that is their shtick, man. That's the whole Q thing is morphed into that. Because they're tying the religion and this belief system and this whole Q thing together.
Yeah, I always question. I don't know. That's my pet peeve about that religion. But
he did that from the jump. There was always a huge evangelical undercurrent to the Q thing. One of the biggest Q accounts was the Praying Medic.
Yeah, that guy was a con man and a half. He was just in there for a money grab.
Well, they do understand their audience. I mean, they've been pushing that. They had this Reawaken tour, and it's all these Q people pushing the religious side of it.
Mm-hmm. Because they're trying to push they actually think that they are the what do you call it? The saved or whatever. They think it's like the end of the world or something. Those people are fucking crazy. But yeah, these QAnons, they didn't just come out of the woodwork. This was
they've been there the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is the shit these people will believe. That's the problem. They cannot tell when they're being lied to, when it's misinformation, disinformation, they can't tell. So you can tell them complete horse shit, and they just run with it, man. They're like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, I got this, new tip,
Or the clock thing. There's some of these people. I like the way these people post stuff. It's almost like it's like setting them up for mental illness. They believe that everything is a metaphor. All the symbolism means things. There are secret people. No, did you hear about that lady? That one lady in Canada that said that she's really QAnon and she's controlling everything, and she has 100,000 people listening to her. You didn't hear about this shit? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I heard about it on the news. I was like, what the fuck? People actually believe that she's controlling the United States. The fuck?
Yeah, see, they seem to believe that, but if you tell them, oh, like the Rothschilds or the central bankers, or give them any of that, they're really the ones controlling the thing. But oh no, man, it's like no,
Yeah.
No, the bankers are good guys. They would do that. They're looking out for us. They just told us last week that they're looking out for us, so they're good guys.
They also made bad loans for 20 years and caused a crisis worldwide. People they know couldn't pay back the loans. Remember when they hit up Obama for $2 trillion and he just signed the checks? You remember that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, he's another puppet that can be easy. These people can tell him some crap, and he's just a campaigner. The community organizer or whatever. I mean, it's like, but these guys can, unveil these plans and get Trump or Obama or Bush or any of these clowns to go along with it, because they're just as dumb.
Yeah.
They don't know the difference. They don't even know, and they should know. It's like, look, how can you be at that level and not understand the bullshit that's going on? Especially when you're one of the guys who's shoveling the bullshit out, right? That. But then they don't seem to see the rest of it. It's just like, yeah, it's not just your bullshit; it's everybody else's. But you seem to understand your own and what you're trying to do, but you don't see the rest of it and all the bullshit that's coming in and how gullible you are, like a Bush or Obama, and you go for all this crap.
Yeah.
You're just such a damn coward, and you're no, And over, it's like, how long we have these put up with this politicians?
I don't know. I'm getting sick of all of them.
You're not happy with progressive liberalism in California? It's not working for you?
I mean, technically, at the core of liberalism, there is an undercurrent of liberty, at least in the classical sense, which is why Hillary Clinton always preferred to be called a progressive, since it had no connotations of, liberty.
True liberty or anything progressive.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah, it's all part of the same, inverted. I tell you one thing, but it really means something else. But if you can't spot the lie in a liar, it's like, oh well.
Well, I mean, who would have thought that Nancy Pelosi's nephew wouldn't have worked out as governor?
You mean the coke
she's done such a bang-up job.
Salesman? How come you can't get rid of that guy? Well, everybody hates him. He got all these recalls. He fucks everything up, and then he's still there.
I mean, everybody in California hated Reagan, but they fucking voted for him for president.
Did they really hate Reagan?
Yeah. By the time he was done being governor.
Yeah, that's I was pretty young at that. I definitely wasn't tuned in yet. But I tell you what,
really hated him they really hated him in California when he was president, and he let fucking everybody out of the fucking mental institution and then yanked away like all of their fucking rights or ability to get fucking housing or a job or any of that shit. That's when you got the fucking, oh, there's a wingnut on every corner in California. Fucking Reagan dumped everybody out of the fucking mental institutions and then fucking made it so they were wholesale fucking, like, by federal decree unemployable. Oh, but hey, don't worry, because we're gonna let the CIA drop a fuckload of cocaine onto the streets, then cook it up into crack. What could possibly go wrong?
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I was talking. I don't think anybody could hear me. No, what I was saying is that, I think the worst thing that we did in the United States is when that happened is we gave people who can't judge what's real and what's not, we gave them rights, and they have the right to not get help, which makes no sense to me. And half of these people that are living in the streets, a lot of them aren't drug addicts. A lot of them are a majority of the ones I meet on an everyday basis, they're all mentally ill. I saw one of them a couple weeks ago eating trash in the middle of the fucking street. These people they need to be in some sort of care facilities, not wandering the streets. I don't know any other country in the world that allows people who can't make sane decisions for themselves and give them rights. Which I understand they deserve rights, but at the same time, they can't even make logic. Like every other month, every other couple of weeks, to be driving on the freeway, I have to call the fucking fire department because one of them are lighting fires, off the freeways. I mean, this is the repercussions of what Reagan has done.
Yeah, that's a. I see your point there. If somebody wants to screw up, though, should you stop them?
I don't know. I mean, here's how bad it is, right? So, I remember I had a consultation with this patient, right? And this happened in Chicago, where we were allowed to do a involuntary commitment, right? So I was doing my initial consultation, and the guy comes in, and then he tells me he hears voices, he likes to light fires, and I have to contact a psychiatrist. But it was a process just to get them into a facility without their consent. It shouldn't have to be like that. If the guy's hearing voices and he wants to light fires, why shouldn't I be able to call anybody to get this person the help that he needs to get? I have to go jump through hoops and call other people. It's just, I don't know.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, as long as you're just hurting yourself and nobody else, go for it.
But this guy says he heard voices, and start fires.
Yeah, you're going to danger to other people. Well, now that's different. But people have a problem with these distinctions, and why you do it that way.
Well, the whole process took about 3 hours, and I had to keep the guy in my office. It's it shouldn't be this difficult.
Yeah.
This is. I actually do know. I think if my memory corrects me well, the Reagan thing, releasing the the people who are crazy out of the mental institutions, was personal for him. Apparently he had a relative that was locked up in one of these facilities. But if you understand anything about mental health, these people really don't belong in the streets. They don't. I know they like living. I know they don't like living in the. A lot of them don't like living in the shelters because they can't use drugs there. but at the same time, they need to have shelter. You know, I don't know how to mitigate stuff like that. They won't stay in the shelters because they can't use drugs. Yeah. And here's the unspoken thing is that a lot of the people that are crazy, that are like schizophrenic, they tell me that when they're using drugs, the voices, they're less. So they're self-medicating on some level. So it's like a double-edged sword, you know?
Yeah. The problem with going the other way is, as you see with governments, though, is if you make it too easy to get somebody in there, then how do you get out?
Exactly.
I mean, they're already trying to do that to you anyway, and you got all these alleged protections, you know, and your government's already coming after you.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe... No, it's a bong dream what I'm thinking of. Like, because we use this stuff every once in a while. It's a Ripazole, the long-term injection. We use them for the like really crazy people who don't want to take their meds. Like, if we could just get that shit, like, you know, they don't have to consent whether they get the medicine or not, because you get like a 3-month window where they don't need to take their meds. Like, that might help, but a lot of times the reason they don't take their meds is because they complain of the side effects. So, I don't know. I'm getting tired.
Okay.
I think that's a problem with most folks, though, who are taking medicines, isn't it? You know, roughly 40-50%, you know, don't take their medicine because they're so nasty.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with schizophrenia medication. They all target the same part of the brain which deals with dopamine, which they think is a relation to the schizophrenia. The problem is that dopamine is so integrated into almost every part of your daily life that you are going to feel chronic sedation and some mental confusion on some level with most of the medications they have for the mental illness that these crazy people are taking. So, I don't know.
Hey, so we can probably end the episode soon, but Tyler, like we discussed before, like we want to do like another like weekly episode, right?
Yeah, we can do Sunday. That's fine.
Sunday is a good day.
Yeah, just let me know the time though. I mean, if it's late or it's early, it's fine. I can do it. I'll just be at work, but I'll be able to do a Sunday show.
Okay, and what about the others, Alamo?
It's possible. Let's see what day that is.
You'll have to do like 4 hours or something, but we can do like we should do like a show on like Sundays.
You covering different topics or what?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I mean, like every day new shit happens. So
we're gonna talk about one new altcoin for 4 hours straight. That's it. Nothing else. It's the all altcoin show every Sunday on Anonymous World.
You know what? I bet we could go AK to go on for 4 hours about one coin alone.
You could do it. Yeah.
Definitely.
And only take 3 breaths.
Is that a COVID breath or a regular one?
That's a regular one, I think. I don't know.
It's more than enough for him.
What time are you thinking, Lubers?
I really don't know. It's probably up to like I think maybe Tyler or something needs to decide that.
Day and night, it's fine. I don't mind. I'll be at work. But
I mean, our shows on the West Coast 10 to noon. That's the only that would be my hiccup. Jones is his hiccup.
Probably best to do it after that or something.
Because before it would be painful.
Yeah, it's a Sunday. Huh?
Yeah. I'll be available.
Okay, did we discuss everything we need to discuss?
Yeah.
So we need PSA.
PSA.
Make sure to spam neuter all your politicians, lobbyists, military contractors, royalty, and bankers.
And Klaus Schwab.
And Klaus Schwab. And the Bilderberg Group.
The entire council of 300.